All right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer League podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's not static, AM radio. It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
.604 on a Tuesday morning after a long weekend. It is the Nielson Show to kick off another day here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Nielson Show presented to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Go give them a visit, www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot with our partners at South Fort Chev. Well, look who it is. Will Fraser. What's up, buddy?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man.
to everybody.
It's a Thanksgiving miracle is what it is. Yeah.
It feels like it,
I liked over in the chat, somebody said, wow, Brian Hall looks younger than I thought. All right, it's Will Fraser joining us today. You're going to see him filling in a bit when I'm gone or when Eric's gone. We thought it was just about damn time. We've been doing the hangout for a little while. You're actually our very first guest ever when we launched Edmonton Sports Talk. Remember that day?
That's
We're
right.
sitting right in the middle. I tweeted last night. I said, for the first time in more than half a decade, Will Fraser co-hosts the Nielsen Show. And then surveyor Brett slid in my DMs. He had it down November 2017. So it's actually, what is that, 7 years?
Yeah, 7.
7 years.
Yeah.
7 years.
I turned 40. I got sick
Yeah.
from turning 40.
Yeah.
Missed a show. And they were like, well, that's it.
Wait a second. Was it that quickly after the birthday?
It was, I turned 40 in September.
I remember that. Well,
they were
obviously
like, well,
we remember
he's
that
past
day.
his best before date.
Yeah, this guy's out of here.
Sell.
God, so you got, I was, what was I when they killed us? 41 and a half?
Yeah.
I was about 41 and a half.
And
so.
it's, you know what?
Yeah.
The right call.
Yeah.
Really, you know what? When I look back on it, I can't argue with the decision.
Look, nobody wants to work on AM radio in their 40s.
Yeah, exactly.
It's as simple as that. We've
They're like,
we've
they're
moved
like,
on.
If we let you stay, it's just going to make everyone sad.
Listen, people have been asking for this for a while. Do you remember that day?
The day they walked me out?
The day they walked you out?
Yeah.
Because it's more fresh for us.
Yeah.
When they walk, I was on a golf trip when they let us go.
Yeah.
Worst golf trip. Well, it ended up being a pretty good trip, but bad day. Bad day. Do you remember that day though for you?
Oh yeah. As is all of radio, it's like the sword of Damocles hangs over your head.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just waiting for
so
it.
you're waiting for the bullet.
Yeah.
Right. And so like when the tap comes, you're like, yep, this tracks.
Well, that's what Eric always says. Like, because I was on the golf trip. There's rumors started like at 8:30 that morning, people were like, wait a second, there's a meeting. What's going on? Jame was calling me. He's freaking out. I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. And I had a call scheduled. I never picked up on it. I had a call scheduled for 9 o'clock that day with my TV boss. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm on a golf trip. Like, he goes, it has to be. I was just like, fine, I'll meet with you. But I never even put 2 and 2 together. And then that morning when James was like, I think something's going on, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, this makes sense now because I got a call at 9 o'clock. But I remember Eric saying that it was him and Tommy doing the show that day. And Eric was waiting to do an update. And Heather, the boss over there, comes over and was just like, Tommy, we have a meeting. You need to come. Tommy's like, well, we're just in a break. And she's like, no, that's okay. And Eric said as soon as he heard that, he picked up his keys, picked up that, and was just like, oh, this is it. This is how it ends right now. So I will tell you this: if I ever decide to shut down Edmonton Sports Talk, we're going out with a bang. It's not just gonna be this, oh, hey, we're off the air type of thing. Like,
shortly after they let me go is when the La Flemme firing happened.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was just kind of like, the ego on this lady. They walked me out. You think you're safe?
Yeah. And did you have gray hair at the time? Because those were not a big thing.
Come on, Lisa. Come on. No one's safe.
Nobody's safe.
And secondly, I was on a very successful program. I don't know about you.
Careful. That takes hot. No, but you know what? The show was going good.
Oh,
and you know what?
Our show, like, it was completely sold out. People were like killing to be
ratings
on it.
Were awesome.
And it was one of those ones where it's like, we're trying to kill this station. This isn't working.
Well, that's the problem. This is the problem with AM radio or radio in general. Like, it doesn't matter if you're having success.
No.
Like, they'll still just be like, sorry, you're a number. You're out of here. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
We have other stations, and you are very embarrassing for us right now.
Yeah, that's true. We did beat the Bear consistently for a while there, but that was not a good look. That was not a good look. Yeah, that's when the chosen one is getting beaten by the stepchild. It's a little bit of a tough look. So whatever. It's all worked out. It's all worked out for the better. Do you miss getting up? Early? Yeah. You do. Yeah. So you like getting up. I still, even on like yesterday morning, 4:30, I woke up. I was like, oh, damn it. Fell back to sleep for a bit. But
I've like an old dairy farmer like myself. I've always enjoyed getting up early. But even this morning, like I got up and I was like, oh, there's still some Northern Lights going on. Like,
Did you see some Northern Lights today?
Oh, yeah.
Totally missed those last week. It sucked.
So, like, you get the world to yourself.
You know what? It is nice and quiet. Yeah.
Like, I mean, let's not talk about headlights at the moment, but for the most part, it's a nice drive.
That's still, I mean, you did a lot of good things with us, but the turn your headlights on is still your lasting legacy. Oh my God. Remember at the Nasty Bash, people were like, oh my God, turn your headlights on. Like they're just...
I came home the other week and I go to my wife and I'm like, hey, old morning Mindate was in. I saw Mindate because she has a love-hate relationship with Min.
Why?
Well, because she uses his traffic updates on the way home.
Okay, all right.
And like,
I didn't even know Min did traffic. Sorry, man.
When he gives good advice, she is thankful of Min. Yeah. And when he sends her along the bad route, she comes home with a hate on for the guy. And so, like,
he's such a nice dude.
I know. And I'm just like, you can't hate Min Dhariwal. She goes, well, today I do.
Do you think people hate Josh Clausen when weather's incorrect?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's tough to do, too, because he's a real nice guy.
But she goes to me, she goes, did you tell him he stole your line? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, he says, turn your headlights on. I was like, well, it's not my line.
I love how
I'm like, that's your line. She goes, he's ripping you off. I was like, I prefer homage. I prefer, it's not a ripoff. He's giving me an homage.
Oh, that's too good, man. All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Corey the Butcher is in and says, good morning, guys. Can I get a conch for my birthday? It would start my 48th year off right. We got you, Corey the Butcher. Happy birthday, buddy. Keep the text messages rolling in here this morning as well. This is a good one from Colin the Amishman. This could end up being text of the day today. Text of the day, I'll get you that gift certificate to A&W, where they had a great run with the Ruffles Burger. They got something new on the go right now. I'm going to pass that along to you. That's how you win text of the day, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. What's better than one A&W Mama Burger? Made with perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, slice of onion, ketchup, mustard, teen sauce on a toasted sesame seed bun. How about 2 of them? Classic. Didn't see that. 2 Mama Burgers for $9.99. You can enjoy 2 of these delicious mouth-watering burgers for only $9.99 at participating A&W restaurants in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon. What a deal. And to make it even more convenient, most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours. They say most because I think there's one guy who's like, oh, I will never have my location open for 24 straight hours. So they have to say, fine, we'll just say most, which has got to be infuriating for the people who write all their advertising. But it's great. Anyway, this one, calling the Amishman, 780-218-9999 says, the Oilers are losing and Will Fraser is hosting with Dusty. Is this 2015 again? I mean, we're going to get to the Oilers today. We can, poor Trev's over there. He's working on an update, but his heart is broken today. Yeah. Absolutely devastated. And we'll get, look, let me lay out the show for you. Then we'll kind of get into the conversation here. We'll get into your morning announcements coming up for the Bear. That hurts just after 6:30. Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend is going to be happening just before 7 o'clock today. Craig Button, I'm sure he was fired up before the season started about the Oilers forwards. So we'll see how it is now.
How much money does he have on this team?
He's very passionate about it. I mean, I don't know if he's in all of the other Canadian markets every week as well, or if he just plays it up because he was us, but we'll take it. Anyway, Button will be by just after 7 o'clock for Pro-Am Sports. We will build the early bird special with our partners at CoolBet for another week in the NFL. Went 4-0 on my lock shop picks this week. Woo! I'm on fire right now. Who am I? Hustler? God, that guy's been on fire all season. We'll give you the keyword for the EST Flyway to Los Angeles. That's coming up around 7:25. Weekly confessions just after 7:30. Around 7:45 today, we'll dive into the fan zone.
Fan zone.
And you know what we'll do there? I threw it out last night. There was like 150 replies instantly. What's the biggest reason the Oilers are 0-3? We'll get into that at 7:40. We'll get into it before, but 7:45 today, we'll dedicate a segment to it. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. A new segment called Fired Up for Napoleon Grills. We'll get to that around 8:25 today. Gager's going to pop by just after 8:30, and 8:45 today. We will give you the orange and blue breakfast for GCL Diesel, and of course the wrap for William Huff. So we have a jam-packed Tuesday show. Your text messages, of course, to 780-218-9999. If you need a conch this morning as well, we can definitely get to that. Soupy Pigeon over in the Nasty Chat says, guys, I'm here for my morning Oilers therapy. Well, I mean, the Calgary, I don't know, what's more concerning to you over the weekend, losing to Chicago or losing to Calgary the way they did?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't walk around with the same angst about this team. I don't. Like, I didn't last year when they started bad. I was on the hangout,
yeah.
And I was the first one to be like, well, you got to fire the head coach. Like, it's that simple. Like, why are we overthinking this?
Yeah.
Just fire the head coach. And then they did, and like, they are a team with the 2 best players on the planet playing for them. Like, we overthink this, don't we? Like,
so they'll be fine, is what you're thinking.
We as fans overthink this. We as media overthink this. Like, you want to know what's wrong with the Oilers? Connor McDavid's not playing well.
Yeah. You know what? Like, it's funny because
like we've grown so accustomed to treating everything with kid gloves when it comes to Connor McDavid and the superstars. Like, we don't want them to feel unloved. What if they leave?
Well, now that Draisaitl's staying, we can say whatever we want about him.
This is my point. Like, Draisaitl's locked in. Connor McDavid's not going anywhere. Draisaitl plays here for the next 9 years.
Yeah.
Like, so it's time to start looking at the top guys and go, play better. Yeah, because I will guarantee this. If Connor McDavid is the best player on the ice, the Oilers are going to win the next game.
Yeah.
Like it would be nice if, you found a way to win without him. But that's not, like, when you've got $30 million coming on $30 million tied up in 2 guys, guess who needs to be the best 2 players on the ice every night, bar none? Those 2 guys. And right now, they stink. Right now, they stink.
Well, and that's the thing, like, and it was brought up, and we'll get to it. We got That Hurts coming up. We're going to, it hurts me almost, but I'm going to look at plus minus to start the season just after 6:30 because, I mean, what Fraser, Connor McDavid's a team worst -5 right now. Like, Connor McDavid's going to be on the ice most of the time. You're going to need Connor McDavid to be the best player on the ice. Connor McDavid has not been the best player on the ice or the second best player on the ice in their first 3 hockey games.
And so when the question is how worried are you? Am I worried that Connor McDavid is now a bad hockey player? Nope, I'm not.
Impossible.
I am not worried that that's the case. I am not worried at all. So will they figure this out? Yep. Like, if they make the playoffs, will they be a contender for a Stanley Cup? Yep. Like, this is not the panic time. Now, that's not to say that you can't go and make a crazy trade. Go for it.
Oh, yeah. No,
Like-
that'd be great.
Like, throw it all into the blender. Like, you mix the lines up. Do something. I'm not saying wait around, but on the other hand, don't be losing sleep over a squad that has a Connor McDavid on the front of
Yeah,
it.
you know what? You're bold rolling in here telling people not to lose sleep. Trev hasn't slept in 2 days.
Trevor needs to stop cutting himself.
He's got a nice hoodie, though. He's got a very nice hoodie. Is that new? I don't know if I've ever seen you wear your Adidas hoodie before.
Never wore this one.
Okay, I didn't
Have
think
you
so.
given thanks
Yeah.
for it?
Have I? What's that?
Given thanks for your...
Because of
I'm
Thanksgiving.
very thankful for
Yeah.
everything I have,
Yeah.
including this hoodie.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was just like, the hoodies that get lost in the closet, and then you're like, I forgot I had this.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened with this one.
Yeah, you know what?
I was
I
like, I like
had
this
that pop up the other day too with my my black and white Expos hoodie. Love that hoodie. I was just digging through hoodies. Someone put it at the back of the closet. I was like, what is this?
This is the season of the $20 bills, is it not? Like, this is when you get the winter coat out
And you find money.
and you find the money.
And then you go and spend it at Wayne Sports Cards on packs. I think that's usually what you do. Let's dive into your morning announcements right now for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock, Yukon and McCord every single morning. And AM Nasty, just like many of you, Jess Jackson on the way home. Obviously, your thoughts on the Oilers. We got That Hurts coming up in about 10 minutes. Tales of the North coming up just after 6:30 today as well. We'll try to get you set for the Oilers and the Philadelphia Flyers. But yeah, keep the comments rolling over in the nasty chat. Of course, you can text us as well. Morning announcements: Bills and Jets last night. The whole game was a mess.
Yes.
The officiating was awful. There was over 200 yards. Anytime there was a play, it was like, and there's a flag. If Al Michaels was calling that game, he would have got up and left.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
It felt like it was the exact embodiment of a lot of Thanksgiving meals, right? Like, you've been invited over to those friends that their marriage isn't lasting, and it's just been a mess from start to finish. The turkey didn't get cooked on time. Somebody forgot a side. Jets are a mess, man, and I'm here for it. I am here for what a mess that franchise is.
You're right. It is. I mean, both teams missed field goals last night, but Aaron Rodgers throws an interception right of the game.
Yeah.
In the most classic fashion, Mike Williams, who's been hurt his entire career, tries to turn around and make a play on the ball and gets hurt in doing so. Buffalo picks it off. The Bills will certainly take the win.
Yeah.
So the Jets made the coaching change. And now Breece Hall got going last night. He hadn't been playing well yet this year. It was probably Rodgers' best game as a New York Jet.
Really? From
I
his storied career as a Jet?
Imagine looking at these 6 games he's played. But that is the best one there. I just don't see the Jets being a factor. Could they squeak into the playoffs? Maybe they squeak into the playoffs.
2-4-0 already.
It's tough. It's tough already.
That's a pretty deep hole.
Yeah, I mean, I totally enjoy watching it go down this way because I have no time for Aaron Rodgers
Or the Jets.
But well, I've never really been too anti-Jets.
Really? I don't like I've never liked the Jets. They are just one of those organizations that just tries to skip. Right? They just
easy way out.
They're line skippers is what they are. They are we've all been waiting in line at everyone's been taking their turn and they show up late and try and tap somebody on their shoulder. Mind if I
we're the Jets.
Skip in?
That type of thing, right?
Yeah. I've never liked the Jets.
All right, how about the Elks? The Elks sweep the Calgary Stampeders for the first time in 22 years. 23-18 the final. And they still miss the playoffs.
Yeah, you know who I feel good for? The rest of the CFL.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can feel good for, right? You have fan bases everywhere else that have watched those two franchises for the last 50 years have their way with the league pretty consistently.
First time ever that one of these teams isn't going to be in the playoffs.
And now you just get to sit and watch those two teams be on the outside looking in. I never thought I would see
And
it.
I never thought of it as an outsider view, but you're right. I mean, for fans around the league to see Alberta kept out of the CFL playoffs might kind of be like, it's about time type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone else has had heaping amounts of humble pie, and this province has always had at least one of their teams absolutely crushing it, and that's not the case.
If you would have told us, though, that at the beginning of the year, Edmonton sweeps Calgary in their 3 games,
Right, yeah.
you would have thought they'd be a playoff team.
Bananas. Yeah. Like, you would have been like, wow, that's a pretty good football team if you can sweep a season series against the Stamps. But
Not the case.
not the case.
Not the case. So here are the Elks' 6 wins this year. And Trey Ford has 3 of them. MBT has 3 of them. MBT's 3-10. Trey Ford's 3-1. I thought Trey played okay in that game. Had the good stretch. He was pretty accurate with his throws. Kept it. Feels like they sort of dumbed it down a little bit. Like he wasn't going down the field that much. They were sending some pressure. He was getting rid of it. Used his legs a little bit. I thought he was fine. I didn't think he was great. I didn't watch that game and go, he's the number 1 guy forever. That wasn't the case. But when you look at this football team right now, with where the Calgary Stampeders were at, Calgary awful season. Edmonton's wins this year, 3 against Calgary out of the playoffs, 1 against Hamilton out of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They beat the BC Lions in the only start that Jake Dolagala had, and then they beat the Riders without Trevor Harris.
Yeah.
So I mean, they really.
You know what they did? They won the games they were supposed to.
Yeah, actually. No, but that might be an accurate take. Like the games in which, I mean,
they didn't blow any guaranteed wins.
yeah. That's true.
They just didn't
But they
figure
did-
out
they
a way
didn't
to
win
win
anything
else.
Like that to me is kind of like when you look at back on the season and all the bright spots, not many, but the few bright spots, you're like, yeah, but they literally didn't beat anyone.
Yeah.
Didn't beat anyone.
Not
the
of
whole season.
consequence. Yeah.
No, so that's, I mean, does that mean their season's worse than it looks?
No, because they found opportunities for growth. They made the right call at head coach, which was a season and a half too late.
Yeah.
But they still made it, right? Like they are starting this offseason in way better situation than they have for the last 2-3 off seasons.
Yeah, that's a good point. That fresh start, will be a new president, maybe this week.
Yep.
Will be a new general manager, will be a new head coach. I don't see a world where you run back Jarius again. I don't think that'll happen. Kind of had a sniff as an interim, and that's probably the case.
Well, he had his chance to earn a job, and he didn't earn it.
Yeah. That's a fair thing. You can go to him and say,
Yeah.
hey, look, man, gave you an opportunity. We're going to go another route. I mean, if they bring Jarius Jackson back, people are going to freak out. I mean, they're going to freak out. This is Larry Thompson. You buy the team. You got a chance for a fresh start. You have to take it.
Yeah.
Even if Jarius did like an okay job, I still think you have to take the fresh start and go from there. A couple of messages on this. Smith TM14 says, guys, Trey Ford earned money against Calgary. See, that's the thing. Like, from what I saw from Trey against Calgary, in no way makes me think he's more valuable after that game than he was before that game. Like, the way he played against the basement-dwelling Calgary Stampeders is not going to change the way I view him moving forward. And how I view him moving forward is, I don't know. Like, he's very much an incomplete project that you've had 3 years to try to ramp up, and they haven't done that yet. So I don't know what ends up happening at quarterback.
Well, you need a general manager who assembles a team, and then you need a head coach who coaches the team, whatever it is that the general manager has put together for him.
Like Moneyball, remember?
Yeah.
And Art Howe was like, no, I'm
Right,
going to manage
yes.
the team. And he's like, Billy Bean was like, no, this is how I built this team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have some top-down structure put back in place where everyone follows the rules that are set out, starting with the owner. So they now have an owner who can kind of start to set out who's in charge of what and have actual repercussions when things don't follow the script.
There's a chance here for long-term stability.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they take advantage of it. Joe Belineski says, Let's do it. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. You know what? Here's the thing. Couple of things. This is a new board. We put a new board in on Saturday, and it's still kicked out. Fraser, what do you think is the problem?
It's called dirty electricity.
Dirty power.
Yeah, dirty power.
Tell me about dirty power,
So
Fraser.
listen, alternating current AC is a waveform, and it's supposed to be oscillating at around 120, 110 volts.
Volts. This is volts. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a voltage.
And then it comes in and it gets converted to DC power, which is direct current for most of your electronics.
Okay.
And the problem is that if your peaks and valleys shrink below about 110, it can screw up your DC power. And so then it just it screws with the electronics, right? All those like resistors and they work on a power range. And
Unbelievable.
Once it dips below that, you get ghosts in the machine. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, now we know about dirty power. I had no idea about dirty power.
Yeah.
So
And it actually, you know what? And it would make sense. Like it's 6:30 right now. Like most people are starting to wake up, so like people are turning on fans and washing machines, and so you kind of get dips in the electrical grid at this time.
Well, we're gonna have to sort that out. What's the solution? What do we
Usually most people will install what's known as like a backups system. So it's usually like a big battery.
Okay.
So the power comes in, charges the battery, and then that sends out a clean.
So that's what
power,
we need. We need
yeah.
clean power
You
battery
need
backup.
clean power.
Clean power.
Yep.
Trev, you hear this? We need clean power. We'll tell Matty Owanek when he comes in. We need clean power. We should
Tell
be
me
back
I'm
up.
wrong, people.
Are there any electricians out there?
Yeah. There's got to be an electrician who's like, he's talking gibberish.
There has to
He
be.
made it all up.
As Strummy Tech said this morning over the Nasty Chat, he says, dirty power.
How lewd.
How lewd. It's a Tombstone Tuesday here with the boys. That's wearing my Doc Holiday shirts. Say when. Classic Tombstone Tuesday line. All right, coming up, we've got Tales of the North. We got That Hurts, and we got our Good, Bad, and Ugly from the weekend. Craig Button just after 7 o'clock today as well. Yeah, keep those text messages rolling in. We should be back up. If there's any more issues on TuneIn or iHeart, please let us know. Jimmy Onishi in the Nasty Chat says, phrase is being paid by Big Battery.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that
right.
big battery money. You sly dog. All right, let's get to an update for Nisku Glass with Lieutenant Eric. Tales of the North on the other side here.
In the majors, both the ALCS and NLCS got started over the weekend. Last night, the New York Mets evened out their series after defeating the Dodgers 7-3. That series is now tied 1-1. And in the ALCS, the New York Yankees take Game 1 of that series by the score of 5-2. Game 2 of that one is tonight. First pitch is at 5:38. In the NHL yesterday, 6 games in action, including 2 Canadian teams, which saw the Montreal Canadiens losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins by the score of 6-3, and the Ottawa Senators just edging out the Los Angeles Kings 8-7 in overtime. Just one game in the CFL last night, which saw the Montreal Alouettes beating the Ottawa Redblacks by the score of 19-12. The first place Alouettes will be back in action on Saturday when they face the 8-9 BC Lions. And in the NFL for Monday Night Football, it was an AFC East matchup that saw Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills defeat Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets by the score of 23-20. The Bills snapped their 2-game losing streak with that win and now stand alone in first place in the AFC East with a record of 4-2 on the season. Nisku Glass is growing and now hiring. If you're a nasty that wants to work with other nasties and cut glass and replace windshields, then we want to hear from you. Email your resume to info@niskuglass.ca or stop by our shop to apply today.
What say you? A nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? A nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind? 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tuffy and Eric and all of the bad cats like Brzezinski and Noodles. Gager and Gage, but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some Huntix and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away. Beat left to tie a fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the Canes? Macramel, Rapaport, Gager, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about them giving present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
6:35 on the Nielson Show. Craig Button coming up at 7:05. Trev, you want to fix that? He's 7:45, but 7:05 for Craig Button today. We're going to get to That Hurts for James H. Brown. That is coming up. And also the Good, Bad, and Ugly from the weekend. Atif has sent in a Turn Your Headlights On song in honor of Fraser. Fraser, would you like to hear the Turn Your Headlights On song?
Of course I would.
All right, well, we'll get to that. We're going to do Tales of the North as well. Were we weren't doing Tales of the North when you were around, were we?
No.
Totally missed out on one of our best bits ever. Don't you think? Come on, tell me you want to dress up like Game of Thrones.
It is actually, it's shocking how close to Jon Snow you look.
I thank you, man.
Yeah, like
nobody's ever said that.
Like
I don't know why.
you throw that on, and I'm just like, looks like a guy who used to be dead.
Is that Kit Harington? Yeah, I also came back when they tried to kill us. Right, same type of thing, same storyline.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So we got lots to get to. We work our way towards Craig Button at 7:00 this morning. But let's get into. Do you want to do anything with Tales of the North?
I have no idea what this is.
Okay. Fraser, you know what? You sit back. I got this. Here we go. Let's go. Tales of the North. Oilers and Flyers coming up tonight.
Who owns the North? Who owns the North? Show me!
Tonight in the North, thousands of supporters will march on Rogers Place in hopes of finally watching their heroes claim victory. McDavid and his mighty men have been nothing but mere mortals thus far in the new campaign. The faithful grow weary with whispers of worry, nay, panic beginning to emerge. The offense ghastly, the defense putrid, the goaltending be damned. It now falls upon the Garlic Knight, Sir Knobloch, boisterous Bob's chosen boy, to set them on the path of redemption. These are the tales of the North, and may they be heard far and wide across this great land. Be damned. Good work, boys.
Yeah.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Of course. What is this Game of Thrones you speak of?
Well, but no, some people haven't.
What?
Yeah, some people haven't.
How have you met someone who has not watched?
Trying to think who it
Game
was.
of Thrones?
Trying to think who it was. Well, Wanaka, I don't think has watched Game
You
of
hang
Thrones.
out with a lot of hipsters, don't you?
That must be it.
That's what it is.
I love Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I love Game of Thrones so much. I'm also watching.
a television.
I'm also watching House of the Dragon, which actually is turning to be pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, it's so many dragons.
So many dragons.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I think you gotta love it. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We got That Hurts coming up, which this could be, depending on how it sounds, be a nice segue into That Hurts. This is a Chiefs Turn Your Headlights On song for Will Fraser.
Turn your headlights on when you're on the Anthony and I going 100 miles an hour. Turn your headlights on when you're in the fog so you can see where you're going. Turn your headlights on when you're driving around the countryside and trying to avoid deer coming out of the bush. Turn your headlights on. The Oilers better turn their headlights on. So when a visiting team comes to Ice District, they can lay a smack down on their candy asses. I would say that about the Elks for them to turn their headlights on, but their lights are about to flicker out. Zach to come when you're eating chicken wings in a contest. and you're about to win, you better turn your headlights on so you don't finish in second place. This song was dedicated to Will Fraser. Turn your headlights on.
What an honor.
Wow.
What an honor.
Wow, really,
welcome,
really nice.
welcome back,
yeah,
Fraser.
Thank you,
you.
Atif. And I like how it went on probably 3 times longer than it should have. I really that was my favorite part.
Atif, what you should have said is turn your headlights on again. Atif, you're a beauty, buddy. What a tribute for Will Fraser this morning. Oh, boy, a conch for Atif, eh? Amishman 19 says, this might be his best one yet. Think about that for a second.
Just an indictment, really.
If you are watching on YouTube this morning, we're crushing the likes today. It's the phrase effect.
Yeah.
Hammer the thumbs up. Can we change 200 before 7 o'clock? Wouldn't that be something? All right, I gotta get this off. This is warm in here. It's really warm.
Yeah. Well, it's all those natural fibers. They just keep the heat in.
Oh, there we go. Woo. All right, let's get into
It's the bear skin. You like, how can you not start sweating?
Can you imagine having to kill an animal and wear its hide? Unbelievable.
Changing 100.
Yeah, nice work, Trev. Nice work. Wow. All right, let's get into That Hurts. Brought to you by James H. Brown, Trent Brown, and the crew over at James H. Brown. If you've been in an accident, go to jameshbrown.com. They are the heavy hitters of injury law. jameshbrown.com if you've been in an accident. Oilers fans feel like they've been in 3 accidents so far since the season started. The team is 0-3. I think this is what hurts. And you kind of hit it right off the top, Fraser. And we'll come back around to more of the question, or what we'll get to for the fan zone today is simple. What is the number one reason the Edmonton Oilers are 0-3 to start the year? Because on Twitter last night, I mean, I saw them blame the defense, the offense, the big guns, the goaltending, obviously Darnell Nurse, Jeff Jackson, Stan Bowman, the Edmonton media for being too easy on Darnell Nurse. So pretty much everybody was being blamed so far. So we'll get to that during the fan zone. But here's what hurts to start the season. I'm just looking at the numbers. Connor McDavid, a team worst, -5. Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman, both -4. Yeah. When Draisaitl, Hyman, and Connor McDavid are a -13 through 3 games, you're going to lose hockey games.
You're not going to win hockey games.
That's it. This team is not constructed any differently than any of the other teams that they've had with McDavid and Draisaitl. Right? It's not like you're like, oh, yeah, the Henrique line's going to win them hockey games. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Fourth line's not going to win you hockey games. Outside of Bouchard and Ekholm having an amazing game, that blue line's not going to necessarily go out by themselves and win you a hockey game. And I like Stuart Skinner, but he's not the type of guy who at this stage of his career yet is stealing you hockey games. So if you're going to win, the recipe is the same as the last 4 or 5 years. McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and Nuge have to be great.
Yeah.
Those guys haven't been great. You're 0-3.
And they can be great, right? Like,
of course they can.
That's the other thing. Like, if and when this team starts to win hockey games, I'm going to spoil the ending for you. It's because Connor McDavid was the best player on the ice. Like, and you'll just look back and you go, wow, Connor McDavid with a 4-point night, 2 goals, 2 assists, and he had 25 minutes of ice time. They couldn't get him off the ice.
Yeah.
That's just not happening right now. And it didn't happen last year when they started slow as well. Like, you go back to what
he had a tough start last year.
He had a terrible start. So I don't know. If I'm Knobloch, that's who I'm targeting. Honestly, you want to know what I would do tonight?
What would you do?
I would throw Draisaitl into McDavid's spot, and I would put McDavid into Draisaitl's
So
spot.
you keep their wingers and just flip the centers.
I would just flip your centers. Like, we keep trying to find different combinations for Draisaitl, and maybe we play around with Nuge off and on of McDavid's wing.
They flip Nuge and Skinner. That's been the top 6 switch.
But I would just flip those 2 centers and just see.
So play Draisaitl. Basically, what we're saying here is you play Draisaitl with Hyman, right? McDavid's
not
always
just
with
that,
Hyman.
but you play Draisaitl as your number 1.
Okay.
Right? You go into that night going, Draisaitl's getting more minutes than you tonight.
Draisaitl hasn't been great either, though.
No, I understand.
But you're saying just
this isn't about rewarding Draisaitl.
Yeah.
This is about going to McDavid going, prove me wrong. Like, because this is what I love about McDavid, is that when you look at him and go, prove me wrong, you know what he does? He proves you wrong over and over again. They were down 3-0 in a Stanley Cup final. And what did McDavid do? He basically begged people to bet against him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this guy thrives on trash talk. So start trashing.
Why can't this team just, like, last year in the playoffs didn't start well in series,
Yeah.
have to fight back.
Yeah.
Last season didn't start well, had
Yeah.
to obviously get on a miraculous run. And here they are. Where does that come from?
Ask their captain.
Yeah, that's it, eh?
Right? Ask their captain.
Yeah.
This team is McDavid's team in good and in bad. Right? This is a team that has his personality. Like it is exactly the way it's supposed to be. No one's walking around going, I wonder who should be the captain of this. We know exactly who it is. It is the right person. I was saying this to friends. I was like, you guys all want to be, as Oiler fans, you all want to be dating a chestnut brown haired girl who cooks you dinner and is completely reliable. That's not who you have. You've got the hottest redhead in the building, and she is going to be out of her mind sometimes. She is going to scare the crap out of you, and you at the end of it are going to love every minute of it, and it's going to make you pull your hair out. It's going to prematurely age you, and you wouldn't have it any other way. Because the alternative is what? Like, you could be completely happy being a Winnipeg Jets fan, right? Yeah. What have they done the last 2 years? They've got out of the starting blocks great. They've had
decent regular seasons,
cohesive.
Really good regular season last year.
They put up points, but are you really going to look back on those Jets teams and remember them? You're going to remember that you didn't lose any sleep about them, but there's no books being written about those types of franchises. Oilers get books written about them, and it's because they drive you crazy.
Yeah.
It's because they scare the crap out of you and then go and win 16 games in a row, right? It's a roller coaster, man.
You probably make a great point, because you know what's going to happen tonight? McDavid and or Draisaitl are going to light up the Philadelphia Flyers, and everybody's going to go like the entire team played better.
Yeah.
When really McDavid and Draisaitl just lit up
right.
the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah.
Like, now, with that being said, if it's like we're sitting here talking about kind of the same things as before, like you just said,
right.
This is McDavid's team. It's been his team for a while. They're starting slow again. They started slow in the past. So my follow-up question would be, why should we expect anything different this year?
Right.
Than
Right.
And last year was a great run. Don't get me wrong. They were this close to winning the Stanley Cup. I'm not sure at this point, if you've been watching this team, many of you are really expecting them to do that again.
Yeah.
Once you get to the playoffs, it's like, okay, well, it's still, you got to go by Steph Curry. You still got to go by LeBron James.
Right,
you still
right.
got to go by
Yeah.
Connor McDavid, and you expect that game to be elevated a little bit. So maybe that's the reason why you still sit there and go, oh, Stanley Cup contender still, because they've got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Right.
That's the
exactly
way it'll be for the next decade.
Yeah. When you are a team built around superstars, you live and die by your superstars. And I don't know about you, but that's the way I'd rather have it. Like predictability is not what I look for in sports. It's what I look for in a car. Right? Like
That's a good point. You do want something consistent in your vehicle. That's a good point.
I don't want my sports team to resemble my washer dryer pair. Right? Like,
you know, we don't have a pair.
you've got the mismatch.
Yeah, the one broke down, and I was like, should we get both? And I think we only got the one.
I know people who replace both when one breaks. I'm just like, what are you, a millionaire?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be, unless you're getting like a BOGO.
Yeah.
Buy a washer, get a dryer. I don't see that being.
I have
make
a
sense.
neighbor who had to have the mismatch, and I think it ate away at her insanity for 3 years until she could get the matching.
She's sitting there every day, just trying to do whatever she can.
Like every time she walked by the laundry room, just a little part of her died. Like,
And it's just spinning like, still working over
still
here.
working. Yeah.
God.
I don't care. You're not eggshell.
Colton Hoppy over on YouTube. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us, all right? Where are we at here? What do we got? 165. Let's go. 35 away from changing 200 in the first hour of the show. And, of course, you can Bruce Burns says, guys, would you rather win in October or win in June? Both. Yeah. Like, no, but it is possible to go on a deep playoff run and win games early in the season. It is.
Like I'm not criticizing you if this team is driving you crazy. Like you should be feeling nuts right now watching this team. But this is the team you wanted.
But let's go to local heartbroken man in the corner over here. YouTube Trev, how are you dealing with this 0-3 start? I know you're not doing pre and post anymore, so you're like, you know what? I get to re-engage in my fandom How is that going for you?
Stupid. It's so stupid. I want to enjoy a game. Crack open a 6 o'clock or lager. And just
Available
have
from Alley Cat.
Yep. And just have a good time. And it has been everything but. It's just so, like, I have to entertain the fact that people are, I'm making a few videos on my channel and people are saying, oh, no, this team sucks. If you just look at the numbers, you look at the players, you look at this. And, like, I have to entertain that. I have to say, like, I have to defend that. Like, I shouldn't be defending this team. Like, they're a good team. They just need to freaking bring it and show it. And that's not the case. So it's annoying that, Oilers fans and just people are just having to defend this team. No, they actually are a really good team. They're just, but a good team can be playing bad, and that's exactly what they're doing. It's just annoying. Like, time and time again, they're back here, and sure, like they're gonna get it all sorted out. But they just think, in my opinion, they just think their crap don't stink. And what I mean by that is they're just overconfident, and I feel like they can just sit back and just, they're going to expect teams to just roll over for them. And, but that's the NHL. They're going to be getting everyone's best every single night. It's Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Who's not wanting to, play their best against those guys, right? Because when the Oilers, when it was Taylor Hall and Eberle, it was always like, oh, Sid the Kid's in town. Like, maybe the Oilers can make something out of this, right? But it's just, now it's in the opposite end. The Oilers are getting that from everyone. It's so frustrating. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it. And Fraser brought up a good point. McDavid's just been brutal. He gets walked by Rasmus Anderson the other night.
Man.
Like, it looked like he never played defense in his entire life. Rasmus Anderson.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good player. He's a good player, but, like, that's not, like, prime Erik Karlsson, right? Like, I'm just blown away. He made McDavid look like a fourth liner there. Like, and I just, the physicality, like, how easy it would have been to nullify that play if he just checked if he just, did a body check on Rasmus Anderson. The play would have been nullified. They would have went the other way. They just need to be more physical. It's one of the things I've noticed recently. There's a few plays where I'm just like, lay the body on them. They're too weak right now, in my opinion. So I'd like to see them toughen it up, but it's just frustrating. I hate that, like, I have to comment on this because I should be commenting on them being a great team, and that's not the case. I'm trying to tell people, no, you're wrong. They're a really good team. They're just playing bad, but people are gonna say what they want, and until they see otherwise, that's not going to change their opinion.
I just both sides of it kind of get to me. It like the one side where it's Oiler fans who feel like they need to defend this team. There's absolutely nothing you need to defend about this team. Like, it's the exact team that you wanted, and they're playing the exact way they've always played. Like, this has been a second half team for what, 5 years now?
They will. The problem is that they've almost been forced to be a second half team, right? Because
have they been forced, or is this how they like to play?
Well, I don't think they're losing 3 in a row on purpose to start.
No. I'm not saying they're tanking. I'm saying I don't know. They're
the horse that runs along in third until it's go time.
I just don't know if this is. I don't know if it's intentional or not. But there's a secret sauce about this franchise, and their secret sauce is that they're a second half team, and their other secret sauce is they've been uncannily healthy.
Yeah, they were last year.
And the year before that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this has been a team, like, and so are the two combined? Like, is this a team that knows we're not putting the body at risk in October. We're not putting the body at risk in November. We'll put the body at risk when we need to put the body at risk. Like, like you talk about that lack of physicality. That feels like a choice.
Well, physicality is almost always always a choice, right? Like, you got to engage yourself
that
to be getting
feels
there.
like a bunch of guys that are kind of like, it's a long year, man. Like,
maybe it's a wise play in the end,
right? And for the people who, like, poor Trev has to defend the team in front of, like, the flip side of that is the history shows that this is a team that come March is going to be caving your team's head in. Right? Like, so enjoy October, enjoy November. Like, if you're a Flames fan right now, this is your moment. So enjoy it. But when things get serious, when things get real, you know that it's going to be McDavid and Draisaitl running downhill towards another 110, 120 point season, and the rest of the league playing catch up, going, oh, I thought they were bad.
How are we going to stop these guys?
Yeah, I thought they were bad. What happened to the Oilers? And it's this constant amnesia that happens at the end of every season that we can't look back and go, oh, wait a minute, they did this 4 years ago, and then 3 years ago, and then 2 years ago, and then last year we thought that was the year. Now they've really screwed themselves.
All right, let's get into that hurts for James H. Brown. I think Trev probably hurt the most, but if you've been in an accident, JamesHBrown.com, heavy hitters of injury law. Let's get into our good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. We got Craig Button coming up just after 7 o'clock. My good from the weekend, Justin Rankin, running back, Edmonton Elks, 10 carries, 140 yards. An absolute wrecking ball, this guy. And they've got, this is another one of those things where I don't they don't beat good teams, but man, they got some good players. And Justin Rankin is one of them. He basically didn't. So this just summarizes the organization. Chris Jones was using him as a receiver in training camp. They're like, dude, you're not going to be a running back with this team. You're a receiver now. And then when he wasn't a great receiver, they cut him. Then he went back and played indoor league for like a month. And then when Chris Jones got let go, I think G-Roy put in the call and said, hey, you want to come back and play running back? They brought him back. He's had 4 100-yard games in the second half of the season. He was averaging 7.6 yards per carry going into this game. Then he averages 10 yards per carry. Rankin is an absolute stud.
Yeah.
The running back position is not an issue for Edmonton moving forward. They got Javon Leake, who's great, can also return. Kevin Brown's kind of fallen out of the mix, but he was great coming into this season. And now you got this Justin Rankin kid who's just, he's absolutely terrific. So that's my good from the weekend. Where are you going with your good?
My good, the NFC North. Honestly,
wow.
Dustin, I can't believe this isn't your lead item every day.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good the NFC North is from top to bottom. The top team in the NFC North has the bye week, so they stay at 5-0, and all the other 3 teams do is annihilate their competition.
All of them.
And improve to 5-1, 4-2, and 4-2. all 4 teams would be tops in any other division in the NFC this year, and it's not even close. What a division, we are witnessing.
Well, your Bears figuring it out here.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. Talk about a heckle and jive. This
now,
is a team
they
that
beat Carolina and Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So we'll see when they get
Carolina,
another
I didn't put anything on.
No.
I was like, that's picking on.
Yeah.
That's picking on kids at that point.
Well,
but Jacksonville's not a terrible.
They look terrible. I think they should be better, but they look terrible so far. My bad from the weekend. I have to go back to Sunday Nighter. The amount of flags thrown in that football game was just absolutely ridiculous. Some of them certainly justified, some of them not. Even Aaron Rodgers, who I can't stand, after the game was like, some of those weren't penalties. The roughing the passer against me was not roughing the passer. When a quarterback is coming out after the game and being like, that time we got a flag for roughing me, that wasn't roughing on. So it just killed the flow of the football game last night. I thought that had the potential to be a really good football game last night, and it was still an okay football game that was ruined by over 200 penalty yards last night. So my bad was the amount of flags. What was it, 22, 23 penalties last night? And that game was ridiculous. What's your bad?
Yankees winning. I can't handle it.
No?
I think I blame Iwanek for this.
Probably.
He's going to come in today. He's going to have that look on his face.
Well, at least then I can say I smashed him by 50 in our fantasy league.
But
at least he have that going.
He should be coming in chagrined.
You're right.
He should be coming in chastened by the beatdown that you put on him. But he's not. He's going to be big smile. It's going to, it's just
I don't care.
Be a good day.
That's fantasy.
Yeah, exactly.
My Yankees team, my Yankees won.
Yeah, it'll be gross.
That is what it'll be.
It'll be gross.
So you'd rather see Guardians versus Dodgers or Mets?
Yeah.
Because I was talking earlier about would you rather see Subway Series? I just figure the Yankees are going to win. So I was thinking Subway Series or Ohtani versus the Yankees.
I don't think it's probably healthy that I thrive on the misery of Matthew Iwanek.
Yeah.
But I do.
Somebody has to.
Yeah.
All right. Ugly. The ugly from the weekend. I can't even read my ugly. What's your ugly?
Okay. Oilers fans.
Yeah.
When you look at this year's playoffs and who they need to get through, who do you worry about? Trev, who do you worry about? In the
Okay,
Western Conference, who do you worry about?
Dallas.
Probably Dallas, yeah.
Dallas, obviously.
Yeah.
They look like a boring chestnut brown-haired girl who's
Yeah.
gonna bring it every night. But after Dallas, who else?
Oh, I know where you're going here.
Yeah.
Colorado.
It's Colorado
Bad
Avalanche.
start, yeah.
You look at the Colorado Avalanche and you want to talk about the other hot redhead in the group? It's the Colorado Avalanche. They are 0-3 to start the year and just got embarrassed by the Islanders 6-2. Like, misery loves company, and if I'm an Oilers fan, I'm holding on to that as long as I can. That the other super team in your
That
Western
does help a
Conference is just as stinky as you are. And I just hope that Avs fans right now are going, it's Nathan McKinnon, man. He needs to play better. Like, Mikko Rantanen needs to get a deal signed, man. Like, if I'm an Avs fan, I'm just as freaked out as Oiler fans right now.
I figured out what my my writing said here. Two things. One, the Hutchinson injury for the Detroit Lions was awful. That leg was snapped. He's going to be out for the season. He's a freak. He's such a good player. They are a contender, but that hurts their chances.
Yeah,
like he's that
big
good.
time depth.
He's a
Yeah.
game changer. The other one was that goaltender interference call. We didn't even get to it yet because there's so much like the 0-3 start. But Corey Perry, I thought what they were looking at is that Corey Perry, when he came out from behind the net, did have his stick in the legs of the goaltender, but then sort of reset. Looked like the goaltender had a chance to reset. He deflects it. There was no further contact. The problem that here's why I deem it ugly. Because you called that on Sunday. Are we going to see that play called all year long on goaltender interference? Where guys just standing at the edge of the crease inside the blue a little bit, doesn't contact the goaltender, but the puck still goes in on a point shot, and you go, wow, technically the goalie could have come out a little bit further to make that save. I don't know. I think you're playing with fire there if you're the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Or inconsistency, which is probably what it'll end up being.
You and I talked about it. I was like, tie goes to the goaltender when Corey Perry's involved, right? Like, you are not going to get any favors from an officiating crew anywhere when it comes to Corey Perry. So, unfortunately, like, the guy carries baggage when it comes to goaltender interference. We know it very well in this city.
Well, that's the thing. That's why people are like, yeah, but when they held the pad and they said, what are we going to tell Corey? Yeah. But now this happens. Yeah. It's different, I guess. But
trust me, there's officiating crews in Toronto or New Jersey, wherever the video review booth is, who to this day feel embarrassed about that Corey Perry non-call in a Stanley Cup playoff game, right? So Corey Perry's not going to get it. This is what I would like to see. I would like to see Corey after that go, well, next one I'm earning.
yeah, I mean, fair enough. You know what? That might be what they need to get going.
Honestly, I would like to see someone not pout, but go, oh, you want to see goaltender interference? I'll show you what goaltender interference looks like.
Somebody, you know what? Drag him back into the fight.
Yep.
Drag him back into the fight. All right, we have coming up next, Craig Button from Pro-Am Sports. He's going to buy. It's Nielson with Fraser today, back in the seat for the first time since 2017.
Oh my
you know, I
goodness.
think we picked up where we left off, actually, at the 6 o'clock hour. Any moment now, this guy's going to get fired again. That's right. Craig Button's on the way. It's the Nielson Show presented to you by Southford Chevrolet, coming in from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. We'll see where Craig places the blame on the Oilers' 0-3 start. That's on the way right now, though. A sports update for Green Plan with, I almost said Lieutenant Eric, with YouTube, Trev.
In the majors, both the ALCS and NLCS got started over the weekend. Last night, the New York Mets evened out their series after defeating the Dodgers 7-3. That series is now tied 1-1. And then the ALCS, the New York Yankees take game one of that series by the score of 5-2. Game two of that one is tonight, first pitch at 5:38. In the NHL yesterday, 6 games in action, including 2 Canadian teams, which saw the Montreal Canadiens losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins by the score of 6-3. And the Ottawa Senators just edging out the Los Angeles Kings 8-7 in overtime. Just one game in the CFL last night, which saw the Montreal Alouettes beating the Ottawa Redblacks by the score of 19-12. The first place Alouettes will be back in action on Saturday when they face the 8-9 BC Lions. And in the NFL, for Monday Night Football, it was the AFC East matchup that saw Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills defeat Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets by the score of 23-20. The Bills snapped their 2-game losing streak with that win and now stand alone in first place in the AFC East with a record of 4-2 on the season. The Sports Update brought to you by GreenPlan, providing you with award-winning environmental and consulting services. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with GreenPlan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
$7:05 on the Nielson Show to kick off another day here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Nielson Show with Dustin Nielson and the return of Will Fraser back to the co-host chair for the first time. How many years did we work together at the old place?
7?
7. I think 7. I started in 2009, but
I was quickly in there.
Yeah. Probably 6 and a half, 7. Yeah. No, it's and then
I still remember when you were in Fort McMurray and would randomly show up in town.
Yeah.
And I would just have you on the show that I was doing from 11 till 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I just pop in. Very first time I ever met this guy, we said the story before. You came to give me the gear for any sport, any time when I was going to do that sprint car race in Drayton Valley with Shorty.
Short,
yeah. God, I was at that old building, and remember that
you were living in your sister's basement.
I was
in a room made out of styrofoam.
That's true. I did live in my sister's basement in a room made out of styrofoam. That was the thing.
like the big hard Coroplast sheets of styrofoam.
It was
insulation.
like $45 a sheet.
Yeah. And you taped it together.
I duct taped it to the roof and the floor. Now here was this was the reason. The reason was I'd moved in with my sister and 2 of her friends, and they lived in this house, and I lived in the basement. It was kind of unfinished, partially finished. And then another one of her friends moved in. Yeah. And they're like, hey, she's going to live in the basement. I was like, wow, we got to have a room down there. So I didn't have much money at the time. So we went and bought 6 sheets of this styrofoam and duct tape and made a styrofoam room in which I had a mattress in.
You were also driving the most unsafe vehicle That
would have been the Ford Taurus back in the day.
Yeah, you were missing a brake on one side.
Yeah, it fell off. It's just the guy when he it was a mess. It was a mess. And then remember the time we drove to Fort Mac? Yeah. And I fell asleep in the passenger seat and the window was down just a bit. Yeah. And there was a whistling noise, but you couldn't do anything about it.
It's driving me crazy.
That was pretty fun. Those are good times. Anyway, Eric's on vacation today, but when I'm gone for CFL or Eric's on vacation, Fraser's going to slide into the morning show now and run it back a little bit. Craig Button says he sees me, but he doesn't hear me.
Oh.
This is, I think, a little bit of an issue.
It's usually
over the weekend
reverse
as well.
Of what most people want.
We'll see if we can bring in Craig here at some point.
It's that dirty power.
Yeah, that must be the thing. Well, no, Hernan had this exact same issue on Saturday, I think, and then eventually figured it out. So did Craig just leave? He's going to try to read. But Craig wastes no time.
Yeah,
he's just like, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm gone. We'll see when he reconnects if the audio works, because we do want to bring him in. He'll be brought to you by our great partners over at Pro-Am, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Order and submission deadline for the private signing with the Nuge is tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Okay, tomorrow, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, they've got a private signing with Ryan Nugent Hopkins. If you want to get an order in, you want to submit one of your own things, 5 o'clock tomorrow. It's all located in Edmonton, the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave. And, of course, all the details on this signing online at proamsports.ca. Craig says he can hear us now, so that is good news. Let's bring in Craig Button, our analyst today, to talk about the 0-3 Edmonton Oilers. We're gonna get to that. I mean, we probably talk about the Avalanche, too.
Yeah.
It's very – now – the Oilers don't have Evander Kane. The Avs are missing Lehkonen. Mm-hmm. They're missing the Choose. They're missing basically. If Landeskog was healthy, that'd be 3 top 6 forwards. Yeah. They're missing right now. But let's bring in Craig Button for Pro-Am Sports this morning. Craig, good morning. How you doing, man?
Great. How are you guys today?
Let's say that again. I missed you.
I said, how are you guys today?
Oh, well, Craig, that's very nice of you. We're great. This is Will Fraser. I don't know if you would have ever met him. I mean,
We've met a long time.
a long time ago. Yeah, he co-hosted with for 6-7 years back in the day. So in for Eric today, and we figured, as somebody pointed out earlier today, Nielson and Fraser are hosting again, and the Oilers suck. What is this, 2015? So kind of dialed it back a bit. But Craig, an 0-3 start. How concerned should people be in this market right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's the matter of how they're losing. And to me, there's just no zip in their game. There's no like drive or intensity in their game. And we can talk about, hangovers and everything that goes with it. I mean, I know Connor McDavid has said, we only need to talk about this year. So we're only going to talk about this year. Until they get their competitive intensity to a higher level. I'm talking everywhere. I mean, they've scored 3 goals, and this is an offensive team. This is a team that has lots of offense, and they've scored 3 goals. I look at the 6-0 loss to Winnipeg. I don't gloss over it, but not one player got a passing grade from me after that Winnipeg game. Not one player. That was how bad it was. And the last 2 periods against Calgary were exactly the same as the Winnipeg game. So if you're going to play 5 periods of like low intensity to no intensity competitive hockey, you got no chance to win. Like not like your chances of winning are reduced. You have no chance. Not in this league. And so when you see them, it like really what I say is like until they pick up their competitive level. Nothing else. Like, there's not going to be wins coming.
So they've started the year 0-3. I'm just looking over in the YouTube chat right now, and I see people say, guys, it's the same thing. Below average defense, below average goaltending. But Fraser and I were talking this morning. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman are a combined minus 13. And we know that that's how this team has success. I think we're doing it all a disservice if you're glossing over the big guys not being good to start the year.
So I'm glad you said that. Like, it's too easy to just blame the goaltending. Like I said, not one player got a passing grade versus Winnipeg. Not one player. I thought Stuart Skinner played well on Sunday versus the Flames. And we know Pickard wasn't very good against Chicago. Okay. But so goaltending hasn't been good enough. We know that. We know the blue line was going to be a work in progress over the course of the season. We know it hasn't been it's going to get better. That first goal by Rasmus Andersson on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Zach Hyman and Connor McDavid should be embarrassed by their lack of effort on that goal. And when I say embarrassed, I mean, I know that's hyperbole, but the bottom line is Rasmus Andersson danced those guys like it was an August scrimmage. And so they haven't been good. You look at their offensive metrics and you can look at the defensive metrics. Their offensive metrics, slot shots, inner slot shots, rebound chances, high danger chance, they're right near the bottom of the league. And we're going to just say, okay, blame the goaltending? Okay.
They start terrible last year, fire the head coach. It seems like the magic sauce is returned and all of a sudden everything gets going. But going back to that leadership group, like, why does it seem like head coach after head coach has a problem with motivating this leadership group?
Well, when you ask that question and you say, why does a coach have a problem motivating? It's not the coach's job to motivate the players.
Okay.
No, It's the players' job to get themselves ready to and then be. They went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Yeah. This is not about players not having the ability to compete, not being motivated. This is not about, in my view, not about the coach. It's about the players standing up and going, it's not good enough. And I said, until they decide that they're going to compete and dig in and play hard, nothing's going to change. You change whatever, change the uniforms, change where they play. It doesn't. You can play at midnight. If they don't compete, they're not going to. And it's not the coach's job. It's their job to stand up and say, we got to be better. And go out and be, don't tell me you're going to be better. Go out and be better. They're capable. This is not about incapability. Like, last year with Jay, they looked disjointed. They looked like a team that was a whole bunch of parts. And right now, they look like an unmotivated team of individual parts.
Okay, so let's talk about Knobloch then, because what can he like? He flipped Skinner and Nuge last game. Skinner got his first goal. Probably was their best forward in that game against Calgary. Yeah. If you're Chris Knobloch, what do you do with the lineup to, or how do you sort of jumpstart this? What can you do?
Yeah, and it's a good question. And I mean, Chris has what I would call a steady guiding hand. I mean, we saw it last year. He doesn't panic. He's not going to panic, nor should he panic. I think I don't think it's so much who he puts with who or how. I think it's about just, hey, this is what we are. And I honestly think it's about an honest discussion. And you just say, we're better than this. Now let's just go out and show it. Again, we're sitting here, questions abound. People are questioning how good we are and everything. I think it's just, and I wouldn't even call it an appeal. I would just say it's not good enough, and we're better than this. And so be better. Just be better.
You used to be a general manager. You know what that situation, that daily sort of grind is like. Can you give us sort of any sort of an insight what it would have been like in Buffalo when you've got teammates fighting in a practice? Like, how does the general manager find out about that? Does he want to know about it? And what is your reaction afterwards?
Well, I mean, without understanding exactly what had unfolded, like, you know, when a team isn't performing well and you got players that are testy and you're trying to get into some battle drills and practice, and you're trying to, you know, get the players, you know, playing harder. Nobody's happy when you're not winning, and so what ends up happening is that there's a spillover. There's combustion, and when you have so much combustion, things are going to blow up a little bit. And probably, if you ask me that, and just to quickly go back to the question about what can Chris Knobloch do, you know, it goes to practice. We're gonna have drills, and we're gonna have drill that are about where we got to compete in and around the net. We're gonna defend hard. We're gonna play hard. So it's not that's where I would go. You're gonna peel them, and now we're gonna go, and this is what we're going to do. But when you have that type of, I've seen it before. I've seen it. It probably happens more often than we hear about. We're just, and maybe not a full-fledged fight, but somebody decides that I don't like that. They slash somebody. It gets a little testy. Teammates come in and break it up. But in this case, it spilled right over into a little bit of a scrap. In Buffalo, I'm talking about.
Yeah, before we let you go, the Oilers 0-3 to start the year. Colorado is also 0-3 to start the year. They've allowed 20 goals. The Oilers have allowed 15. It looks awful. The Avs have allowed 20 goals through their first 3 games. We know they're banged up front. It's not really a who's who of a forward group right now. Defense should still be pretty steady. Their top 4 are outstanding. What's going on with the Colorado Avalanche, and is there more reason to be concerned there than here?
I don't know if there's more reason to be concerned. I mean, what I clearly see in Colorado is the goaltender has been terrible. He has been bad. And, you know, you start to, and listen, you know, you can't give up that many goals. You can't be chasing the game, but he's been chased. Georgiev has been chased from games. And when you watch him play, it's not NHL caliber goaltending. And I'm watching the game versus Vegas. The game started out early, and I'm thinking like, oh boy, neither one of the goaltenders looked good. And then Georgiev said, "You want to see somebody not look good? Look good." And before you knew it, like, you know, and then I mean, it's just continuing. So I think they got to find a way to get their goaltender to stop some pucks.
Craig, as always, man, we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for the time today.
Thanks. Have a great day.
There you go. That's Craig Button for Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Order and submission deadline for the private signing with the Nuge is tomorrow. That's Wednesday at 5 o'clock, so don't waste your time. Get in on this right now, www.proamsports.ca. They are located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave. I thought you asked a good question there, Fraser, about coaching staffs. Like, nobody's really made McDavid and Draisaitl great starters, right? Like, it hasn't really happened yet.
Yeah, and I guess my thing is no one's stepped to a podium and said, the guys wearing the letters need to be our best players.
That really has never happened.
That has never happened.
To the point of, like,
and it's I don't criticize that it's never happened. I do criticize that it's not happening now, right? Like when you are a 23-year-old kid with the weight of the expectations that were put on a Connor McDavid, you want to do your best to pull some of that weight off. Like he's performing, he's scoring, he's doing what he needs to do. But this is now the time where the this is where you now need to start adding weight. Where you go, you're not just like you are a captain of a team that went to a Game 7 of a Stanley Cup. No one needs to tell you how to do your job, but we do get to ask you to be better at it.
Yeah.
Right. And so far, like I'm sure the private discussions happen, but I wonder how much of it is just like, what am I going to tell Connor McDavid? Right. Like I wonder how much of it is just apprehension when you're around greatness that you don't want to get into a situation where that greatness looks back at you and goes,
even though you're the coach,
yeah,
that's still Connor McDavid.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
I think maybe that's how you get to the next level is you don't view him as the god that fans view him as.
Right.
You view him as the captain of the team that has to be held just as accountable as everybody else on the team.
Yeah.
And when he's not playing well, it needs to be known. It needs to be known. So we'll see how it plays out. But, man, interesting times to start the season for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, even if they win tonight, the homestand is a disappointment to start the year. Absolutely. I mean, going 1-3 and your only win against Philly cannot really put much faith into, I think, anybody.
No, yeah, but losing to two Canadian clubs, two clubs with rival fan bases at the very least, it stinks.
We're going to get into it a little bit more during the fan zone. That's coming up around 7:45. Today we got weekly confessions just after 7:30 this morning. We're going to build an NFL early bird special with our partners over at CoolBet right away as well. And, of course, the EST flyaway to L.A. We've got the keyword coming up here in about 5 minutes. We'll give you that keyword. You'll text it into 780-218-9999, and one of you will qualify and move one step closer to a trip to LA for two. You're going to get Clippers, Warriors. You're going to get Rams, Cardinals, and you will get Edmonton versus either the Kings or the Ducks, depending on the scheduling of the NFL game. That's all brought to you by 780. More on that in just a few minutes' time. But let's dive into the early bird special right now for CoolBet. I pick a game. Trev picks a game. Fraser picks a game. NFL, we usually just go money line. NFL winners, get on it early in the week. Let me take you through this schedule for, I guess, week 7 already as the NFL season moves along quickly. The Broncos are in New Orleans to play the Saints, Pats, and Jags. That one's also from overseas. The Jags are there for a 2-game stint. Seahawks and Falcons, the Bengals and the Browns. Oh, man, the Browns. What a mess. The Texans and the Packers. That should be a great game. Dolphins and Colts. Eagles are in New York to take on the Giants. Raiders and the Rams. The Panthers and the Commanders. The Chiefs and the Niners. The Ravens and the Bucks. And then the Chargers and the Cardinals this week. YouTube, Trev? What are you liking for a game this week, buddy? Anything jump off the page for you? Let's put together a little 3-gamer. It doesn't matter what the odds are. We'll put it into a parlay and we'll get it boosted a little bit. So who do you like to just straight up win a game this week, buddy?
I'm going to do Raiders over Rams.
The Raiders? Oh, boy. Raiders over the Rams.
Woo! Scott Laurie, I know he's watching. That one's for you.
God, making a pick for Scott Laurie.
That's Redbeard.
Redbeard. Oh, I know. All right. You know what? If the Raiders can beat the Rams, buddy, you are the Oracle. Not that the Rams are good either, but
they're going to do it.
All right, Fraser, who are you looking at?
I'm going to be an absolute ghoul.
Who are you going?
I'm gonna kick them while they're down. People are gonna hate me about this because you shouldn't do this, and it's really dark. But I'll take Ravens over Buccaneers because I kind of feel like Tampa Bay's got bigger problems these days.
All right, Ravens minus 196. We don't even have a line right now for the. Man, you're taking the Raiders over the Rams, Chef? I'll give you one last chance to switch. They're 5.5-point underdogs.
Yep, there he is. There's Redbeard. Let's go, he says. Yeah, I'm going for it. Let's go.
I'll take Ravens over Bucks.
All right, so
minus 196.
Ravens, Raiders, and I will go. Man, the Commanders is just too easy. It's minus 370. It's not even going to add much to the parlay. The Commanders are going to beat the Panthers, though, like 100%. And we could probably get away with that because we got the big plus number on the Raiders.
Like Panthers are the most guaranteed win rate in sport right now.
Okay, let's just do it. Let's just take the Commanders and the Ravens. Commanders and Ravens played a pretty good game this weekend. I thought it was pretty impressive. Like the Commanders held tight with a pretty good Ravens team.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels was okay. Oh, he was better than okay. Made some great decisions in that game. So, all right. So we've got the Ravens, we got the Commanders, and the Oracle takes a 5.5-point dog in the Raiders on the early bird special. Not like the Rams have been anything special though so far this season, but wow. Yeah, Redbeard says, Dusty, it will happen. The Oracle has spoken. You lose your title of Oracle if the Raiders don't beat the Rams. I'm sorry, Trev. I just got to lay it out there right now. Are you okay with that?
Not nervous at all. I'm okay with that.
Wow, not nervous at all.
Nope.
It's exactly something that an Oracle would say.
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty impressive. All right, I'll pass it along to the boys over at Coolbet. Let me write down one more
The
time.
Oilers have killed all emotions in him anyways.
I think that's what's happened here.
He's dead inside, folks. He's
What do we
not gonna
call it?
feel
What's he,
anything.
chasing the dragon or whatever
Yeah,
it is?
yeah,
Like
that's right.
That's what's happening right now with YouTube Trev, who's just dying. Matt says, guys, I thought Will was going to pick the Flyers over the Oilers. Well, we'll get to that. Actually, one thing that we'll also do here. Let's slide on over. Let's take a look at this Oilers Flyers game tonight. The Oilers are minus 238, pretty heavy money line favorites. The total 6.5. I don't know if that's just Flyers goals or not.
Hey-o.
Look, the Oilers had a defensive problem in the preseason, and it has continued over. Like they are hemorrhaging goals against, and on top of it, they're not scoring any.
Yeah.
Once McDavid and Draisaitl go on, they lose these games 5-4 or win them 6-5. But that might be what we're looking at. For
Yeah,
the Oilers
it's
again
easier
this
to
year.
play defense though when you tilt the surface of the ice. Right,
When you're at the other end the whole time, yeah.
Like it's far easier to play defense when you have the puck all the time, and right now they just don't have the puck.
All right, Edmonton Sports Talk parlay tonight. Oilers get off the schneid. Money line minus 238. Draisaitl goal tonight. Yeah, 4 games into the season. Yeah. All right, let's go with Draisaitl goal tonight. And one more. Let's see one more. What else could we throw in here? Player assists. Bouchard. Nuge is minus 113 for an assist. Oh, boy. What do we got for player shot props? Are those up? They are up. Skinner, 2.5. What about Connor McDavid over 3.5 shots? Do you think he starts shooting the puck more tonight? Is there a sense of urgency from this team tonight? I guess I'm wondering. I know it's only game 4, but are we going to see some jump from them tonight? I view them a little bit as, and I said this earlier, and I don't think they are old and slow. They're old, but I don't think they're slow, but they're playing a little old and slow to me right now.
They're playing like a team that's waiting for everything to happen.
Yeah.
They're not instigating.
Okay, well, let's just do this then. Let's just get right game for the big boys. Draisaitl goal, McDavid over 1.5 points, and the Oilers on the money line tonight against the Flyers. That'll be our EST parlay. I'll send that off to the Coolbet crew as well. Huss and I will have the lock shop today at 11 o'clock. Hangout from 9 to 11 today. We got coverage basically all day long here on Edmonton Sports Talk, taking it right on up to the GCL Diesel pregame show tonight, which will go at 7 o'clock with Tom Gazzola. And what a post game lineup. We've got Tommy, and then we've got Hernan absolutely on tilt early in the season. Then we've got Cass coming in, former player breaking it down. And then Reed Wilk has just been popping up near the end of the postgame show with just brilliant takes. Real nice lineup on the postgame show. So make sure you check that out as well. Let's get to our EST flyaway. Got a key word for you coming up here. Trip to LA 4-2. All you have to do is text in the keyword I'm about to give you. But it's a trip for 2 down to Los Angeles from December 26th to December 30th. You're going to go see the Clippers and the Warriors at the Clippers' new stadium. You're going to see the Rams play the Cardinals at SoFi. And then you will get Edmonton versus either the Kings or the Ducks, depending on the scheduling of the NFL game. Here's what we've got. Today's keyword, it is October 15th. You text this in. The EST Flyway to Los Angeles is brought to you by 780. homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online, 780.com. It's SEVEN80, 780.com, or any of their 5 locations, Southgate Mall, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. Today's key word for the EST Flyway to LA is Dodgers. Dodgers. DODGERS.
Not a J.
No, not a J. You could think that, but it's not. Dodgers. Dodgers. Text Dodgers right now, 780-218-9999. Trev will give you about 3-4 minutes to get in on this, and then we will randomly draw one of you. You will be our qualifier for today, one step closer to the EST Flyaway to LA. Good luck, everybody. One more time, your keyword is Dodgers. You are texting that to 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up, sub to the channel. We got the Fan Zone coming up.
The Fan
The
Zone.
number one reason here on the Fan Zone today that the Edmonton Oilers are 0-3 to start the year. We'll dive into that. That's your thoughts on it around 7:45. We shared some of ours. And weekly confessions on the way next as well for Spectrum Rental. That's all coming up. But first, let's get to a sports update with YouTube Trev for the great staff out of Park Mazda.
Changing 200.
In the majors, both the ALCS and NLCS got started over the weekend. Last night, the New York Mets evened out their series after defeating the Dodgers 7-3. That series is now tied 1-1. And in the ALCS, the New York Yankees take Game 1 of that series by the score of 5-2. Game 2 of that one is tonight, first pitch at 5:38. In the NHL yesterday, 6 games in action, including 2 Canadian teams, which saw the Montreal Canadiens losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins by the score of 6-3. And the Ottawa Senators just edging out the Los Angeles Kings, 8-7 in overtime. Just one game in the CFL last night, which saw the Montreal Alouettes beating the Ottawa Redblacks by the score of 19-12. The first place Alouettes will be back in action on Saturday when they face the 8-9 BC Lions. And in the NFL Monday Night Football, it was AFC East matchup that saw Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills defeat Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets by the score of 23-20. The Bills snapped their 2-game losing streak with that win and now stand alone in first place in the AFC East with the record of 4-2 on the season. One second here. The sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. Mitch guarantees every one of his vehicles starts better than the Oilers at the beginning of a regular season. Goodness gracious.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
$7:32 on the Nielson Show. Dustin Nielson and the one and only Will Fraser in the house today. You're going to see Fraser popping up. He's been on the Hangout. What'd you think when you first came by here?
Same thing.
That first time.
Same thing I think every time I'm in here. And I go home and I tell my wife, and I'm like, I don't know how this is a thing.
You know what? That's probably fair. That's probably a fair assessment.
Every time I'm like, I don't get, like, right on, man. Like, and also it's the greatest clubhouse I've ever been in.
It is, isn't it?
Like it's like we used to talk about, like, if you won the lottery, what would you do? And you were like, I would buy office space and me and my best friends would just play fantasy sports.
Yes.
Like just GM our fantasy
We'd have
team.
offices and we'd make
have
trades.
offices and we'd make trades. And I'm like, this is pretty close, man.
This is pretty close. You know what? I never thought about it like that, but this is pretty close.
This is really close.
God. Good point, Phrase. Look, you know how we do it? We do it with all of our wonderful partners. That's how we do it, including our presenting sponsor of the Nielsen Show, South Fort Chev. Great financing rates available all year long. www.southfortchev.com. Tell them we sent you, and they'll give you an additional $1,000 credit on your trade-in vehicle. If you're just some random that goes out there, they're going to give you a fair market value. But if you tell me you listen to EST, they're going to be like, oh, extra $1,000 on your trade-in vehicle as well. And they'll beat any price. I know people say it, but you find a price in town, short drive out to Fort Sask, they will beat that price for you, guaranteed. www.southfortchev.com. Trev's going to call somebody for the EST Flyway to LA. We'll get into the fan zone coming up for fans first. If you're looking for tickets tonight to the Oilers and Flyers, check them out, www.fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees at fansfirst.ca. But let's dive into confessions. Trev, can you throw up confessions? Let's get into this right now for Spectrum Rental. The inbox just took an absolute pounding. Let me go back, find the Spectrum Rental liner here. A lot of people trying to get in the mix for the EST Flyway to LA, and justifiably so. Here we are, Spectrum Rental. Confessions brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to digging out the panic button again, not pressing it, just making sure it's close at hand. Get your construction heat at Spectrum Rental. So instead of working in the cold, what you do is you get heating machines and you set them up, courtesy Spectrum Rental, and it keeps your whole job site super duper warm. They have the panic button. It's sitting here right now for the Oilers.
Right.
They're not pushing it
No,
yet,
no, no.
But they
No.
know where it is.
Yeah.
Because when it's time to panic, you don't have to dig through and find it. Yeah. They've shined it up.
Yeah.
They've shined it up. Should the Oilers lose to the Flyers and open 0-4 at home to start the year, the entire team at Spectrum Rental is going to be just hammering that thing, which is understandable. We might have to get our own panic button in the studio here. Something we could work on. All right. Do you have any confessions from the weekend, Fraser? Anything or any confessions you got right now?
Confession. I drove 30 hours this weekend.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know why.
Yeah.
Did you drive and pick up your son?
Yeah.
And bring him back?
Yeah.
And then take him back?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
So when'd you go get him?
Friday.
And when'd you take him back? Monday.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Holy smoke. So for people who don't know, when we worked together, Fraser's boys were like the age of my kids right now.
Yeah.
And now you've got one in university.
The one in university still refers to as the Giant.
The Giant. Perfect. That's great. That was always a great nickname. I've had so many worse nicknames.
Yeah.
Being the Giant to a young child.
Oh, to the little
was
kids,
a pretty good nickname. So where's he going to school?
TRU, Thompson Rivers University in Kamloops.
In Kamloops.
Yeah.
So you drove to Kamloops.
Yeah.
Picked him up.
Yeah.
Brought him home.
Yeah. Gorgeous drive. Just the fall colors. You know what? It just made it fly by.
So what was it, like a 7.5 hour, I guess?
7.5.
You did 30?
Yeah. 7.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why didn't you put him on a bus?
Yeah. Although you shouldn't be that surprised. You used to do this all the time.
I love driving.
You used to just drive to Cranbrook on a whim.
Oh, yeah. It's like 8 hours.
Dustin, what'd you do last night? Well, I drove to Cranbrook and
came back. I did do that one time when my grandpa was really sick. I went home for like 30 minutes.
I remember that.
And then came back.
Yeah, I gotta go. My grandpa's sick.
Yeah, I got there.
Yeah.
Turns out he was okay. And I turned around, came home. That was, wow. So you drove there Friday, then took him back on Sunday. But that's what you do for your kids.
That's what you do for your kids.
That is crazy, though. I mean,
Yeah.
wow, good commitment, buddy.
I do like them.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Do you guys listen to things on the drive or do you talk?
Both.
Okay,
Both.
yeah.
We listened to a 13-year-old YouTube interview that Kevin Pollak did, because Kevin Pollak has a YouTube show. With Jason Mantzoukas. 2 hours long form talking to Jason Mantzoukas, who is fascinating.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like a great trip.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great trip. Here's my confession from over the weekend. Carving the turkey grosses me out.
It should.
I love the turkey.
Yeah.
I like carving the breasts off.
Yeah.
I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
Find that middle piece, boom, right down,
Good for
pop it
you.
off. I've become really good at that.
Yeah.
but the rest of the turkey,
Yeah.
I'm basically gagging the entire time.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't like the
greasy.
brown meat. You're finding weird little lumps of
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah,
you
I
don't
hear
know
you.
what it is,
I
but
hear
it
you.
was a piece of a live turkey not
Yeah.
that long ago.
Yeah.
What's the turnaround time on a turkey from when it gets killed to when it's on our table? 3
'cause-
weeks, 4 weeks?
Well, no, it's frozen, right? So
Well, this was a fresh one.
oh,
Yeah.
it had a name.
Yeah.
It had
Yeah.
parents that loved
No,
it.
it played in the backyard with the kids until about 11 in the morning yesterday. And then I was like, kids,
Todd's on.
you can go watch a show now.
Todd the turkey's delicious.
But I agree. That's my confession, is carving the turkey creeps me out.
I did it again. I've done it 3 times now.
Okay.
I pre-butcher the turkey.
What are you talking about?
I know. Is this not wild? This is freaky stuff.
What's pre-butcher the turkey?
So I defrost it and then I literally
You cut it up when it's
I
frozen?
cut it up when it's not cooked. So I cut it up when it's
And then you cook it in pieces.
then I cook it flat and it only takes an hour.
Well, that changes the game a
Right?
little bit.
And then I take like the carcass and I boil that so I already have the stock made the day before.
You sound like a guy who's cooked 15 turkeys.
No.
And you say you've only cooked 3.
Well, I've only done 3 that way.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It takes up too much space in the oven. I was trying to be more efficient
No, that makes
with
sense.
my oven space, and I found this hack.
We made a pretty good turkey yesterday.
Yeah. Who'd
It
you
just-
have over?
Just my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And there's just the 4 of us and the grandma.
Just a $5. Hey?
Just 5 of us.
14 people over at Shea Fraser.
One drove in from Kamloops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You had 14 people over?
14 people. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm trying to think if I would like the big family Thanksgiving
Yeah.
or if I just prefer. It was nice having a small
I used
one.
to not.
But you do now because you're older.
I do now. Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the kids annoy me less.
Yeah, because they're like almost adults now, right?
I like my nephews more. I like my own kids more.
I don't do any of the other stuff with the turkey. For
Yeah.
people wondering, I only carve it. Tam puts all the stuff in, yanks
She
all the
does,
stuff
hey?
out.
Yeah.
I don't do any. You know what I do? I do the little tinfoil thing on top of the roaster, and then I chop it up.
Yeah.
But it grosses me out.
Do you ever just complain? This thing's dry.
No.
What
actually,
did you do?
The one year we didn't have a very good turkey. This year the turkey was very juicy. I was a little bit smaller than what we usually do, so I'm worried about the amount of cold turkey sandwiches.
Right.
But whatever. I'll just insert my power as father.
My oldest
and
son.
make sure the kids don't get any.
We get to his dorm room yesterday, and I'm unloading like 8 turkey dinners.
Of course.
And I'm just like, so is there any turkey dinner left at home? And he just is like, nope.
He's going to be eating turkey until you go pick him up for Christmas.
Well, he'll be lucky if he gets picked up after he took all the turkey.
If you have any confessions, hit us up 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's this is a good one. This isn't a confession, but I do love it. Abutski says, listening to the Red Blacks home radio call on iHeart yesterday, your old pal AJ Jakubik was bringing it during the first half. At one point, I thought that the officials and money hunters' lives were in danger. AJ doesn't mess around.
He's a beauty. I've never known a guy who hates a morning show more than he does.
Oh yeah. I'll tell a story about that. Do we have our qualifier? Okay, let's get to our qual. Then we'll do a throwback confession. All right, who's qualifying today, Trev?
We got Cole on the line.
All right, it is the EST Flyway to Los Angeles. Cole is our qualifier today. Cole, congratulations, man. You're one step closer to win that trip to LA, courtesy Edmonton Sports Talk and the 780. Trev is just rattled right now.
Just pretend to be Cole.
No, you know what this is. It's the dirty power again.
It's dirty power.
It's probably the dirty power. There he is.
Oh,
Cole,
there he
what's up, buddy? You are one step closer to qualifying, man.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Cole?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Thanks.
well,
I'm super excited.
guess what? This just in. You are one step closer to qualifying for the trip to LA.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Who
Me
would
and my
you-
son will go and have a great time.
You're going to take your son. How old's your son?
15.
Have you ever drove 7.5 hours, 2 ways, twice in a Thanksgiving weekend to pick him up?
No.
Not yet.
But would you?
Of course you would.
Of course.
Yeah, of course you would. He's going to take him on a trip. Of
I
course you
drive
go
to
pick him up.
Edmonton. I
Yeah.
drive to Edmonton all the time.
Well, there you go. Which game would your son be most excited for? NBA, NFL, or NHL?
NHL.
Yeah, he's a hockey guy. I respect it. All right, man. You're one step closer. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
All right, congratulations to Cole.
He's lucky. If we have to tell you 4 times, you actually don't get qualified.
We go to somebody else. Even though it has nothing to do with his phone connection. Sorry, man. You're still out. You're still out. But you just quickly back to the AJ Jackie Pick thing. First of all, AJ's great. Love him.
One of the legends.
Yeah.
He has a cousin named JJ, which has always made me laugh.
Yeah, JJ follows me on Twitter. I'm always like, is that AJ or does he just have a secondary life that's AJ? But no, he, first of all, he's a great guest to have on if you're tired.
Yeah.
Because you just ask like 3 questions, he'll go for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's perfect. He's one of my favorite guests to have on. But the very first day, I'll tell you, I don't even know if I've ever told this story before. The very first day I got hired at 1260, originally I thought I was going to be with Bryn.
Yeah.
It was going to be Bryn and I.
Yeah.
And then I get to the building and I get in that day. And this is kind of going behind the scenes in radio a little bit, but I get in and the boss at the time was like, "Hey, sign this and leave." I was just like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, we're blowing out Bryn. And you don't know about like nothing." I was just like, wait a second, I thought I was working with this guy. They're like, "No, we got somebody else."
Yeah.
I was like, what? So I didn't even know. So I leave.
Your career in radio has just been the scene from Old Yeller over and over and over again.
Like the very first day I go to sign on and start working with Bryn Griffiths, they're like, "Oh,
You better move on. We're putting a bullet in this guy's head."
Plot twist. Bryn's gone. I was like, what is, so I go back to the hotel I lived at for 3.5 months. I was just like, okay, well, who am I working with? Another story. But anyway, so the next day, they're like, "You're going to be with AJ Jackiepick." And I was like, okay. AJ rolls in like 45 minutes into the show.
Right.
Comes in, sits down. We've already been on the air. I was with Slater. It's just like,
Yeah.
where's AJ?
It was a mess.
AJ rolls in about 45 minutes late. And it was an Oil Kings game day. He leaves an hour before the show's over. He's just like, "Well, I'm out.
See you later."
See you later. I was like, "But the show's still going." But the one time I'll never forget, we sit there and we usually don't do this in radio, but we're sitting there and he goes, "Well, only an hour and 45 minutes left in the show." And I'm sitting there like just getting into the business and I'm all excited. And AJ's just like, mornings. Like, he hated mornings. He hated mornings.
Yeah, only guy
passion.
I knew who like would do the countdown starting at 3 hours out. Like he'd be like, "Well, it's 6:20, 3 hours and 40 minutes to go
Left
on the
of the
show
show.
today."
It was so. I remember that first day he came in, or not the first day. The first day he was there on time because I remember because he was counting down for the 4 hours. The next time he was in, he rolled in like just whenever he wanted.
Yeah.
And I remember when it's like 9 o'clock. He goes, "Okay, man, well I'm out of here."
Yeah.
He's like, "We got an hour left of the show." He's like, "Well, I got a game tonight. I go home get some sleep." I was like, this is legendary move, man. But I love AJ.
It couldn't have been more polar opposite because Dustin back in those days, like he hated sleep. You treated sleep like it was an insult.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
There would be
I pushed pretty
so
hard
many
for a while.
times. Like I'd come into work and you'd show up like 3 minutes later. Like we'd arrive at around the same time, and I'd be like, "How'd she go?" And he'd be like, "Well, I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I went and played 2 men's league hockey games last night, starting at 11 o'clock."
Those are different.
And then we had to go drinking afterwards. So might be a little rough today.
It was That was before kids.
That was before Tam. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I tried to push that when we started to have kids.
Yeah.
And that's when it like almost killed me.
I know you.
I was just like,
remember
I had nothing left.
You were married. You had kids, and I was just like, "So, what are you doing tonight?" "Well, I'm playing some men's league." And I'm like, "No, you're not." Yeah. "Oh no, I gotta." And I was like, "No, you don't." No. Like,
I would lose my voice.
Yes,
it was just a mess. It was a mess. It was an absolute mess. There's another confession. I pushed it too hard early.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not like I slept for 4.5 hours last night. I'll probably sleep for an hour and a half today, then I'll sleep for 4.5 hours tonight. It's just now my body's just like
Jameis and I would have like regular sort of check-ins, like, "How's he doing?" I'm like, "Not good." "Well, he sounds good." "Yeah, no, the guy's a star, but he's gonna kill himself."
I was very tired for a long. I've been like, but I used to go and work Save On before high school. Like I've been getting up at 4:30 since grade 11. So that's my life. It's just how it is. I can't imagine. Actually, I guess I can, because in the summer when we were let go, we had whatever it was, 2.5 months till we started this, I would sleep till it was the summer. We'd sleep till like 8.
Yeah.
It was great. And I'd be extremely productive during the day. Really was.
I have all this, what do you guys call it? Is it energy? Energy. Yes, I have all this energy.
Oh, I was getting so many things done. It was great. That was a good time. All right, let's dive into the fan zone right now. You've been wanting it all morning. It's the fan zone.
The fan zone.
And the question is very simple. I could just sit here and read replies to the one tweet I threw out last night, but we're doing it live, so let's get into it right now.
Doing it live.
What is the main reason the Edmonton Oilers are 0-3 to start the year? How do you, as a fan, narrow it down? That's why we are in the fan zone. Text us 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. The fan zone is brought to you by Fans First. By fans, for fans, no fees. Get your tickets for the Oilers this season. www.fansfirst.ca. It's the fan zone.
Fan zone.
Classic off-season, what off-season thing going on here? All right, what is the number one reason? Fraser, you laid yours out a little bit earlier on. Just to recap quickly for anybody who wasn't here in the 6 o'clock hour, the number one reason the Edmonton Oilers are 0-3 is?
Connor McDavid, trade that bum. Before you end up spending too much money on this perennial underachiever, just get rid of him. No, but it is. The guy with the C, this team lives and dies, as they should. Where Connor McDavid goes, so go the Oilers. And right now, he is not going anywhere.
The Oilers will never not live and die with Connor McDavid.
That's the way it should be.
That's how it. That's how it is. That's how it's happened.
Yeah.
Uncle Jesse says, guys, it's because Gazzola hasn't had a rant yet. Fan zone.
Fan zone.
Yeah, that's a good one. I threw this out last night. Trev, what about you, buddy? One reason. I know. You were. Do you hear the sigh?
Oh my goodness!
I don't think Trev will be able to give us just one reason. But I'm asking you for one reason.
Your heart hurts, doesn't it?
One reason. Yeah, like it's definitely got to be just scoring in general. And I wonder, like, how much would have changed if they had 2 goals that didn't count. And, like, what does that do to a team? I mean, I got to think, like, still, like, that was their game to win. Like, they had it. They were winning it. So... And Craig brought up a good point. There was just no fight, just the eagerness wasn't there. It didn't look like they wanted that. And it was their game to win. So I'd say just the intensity. McDavid mentioned puck play after the game, and part of the reason why I think they're looking slow as they are, is just moving the puck and just bobbling it as much as they are. The smooth passes, like the tape-to-tape passes, are not there. Like, this team is not the team that went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Not saying they can't play like that, but the play's just not there. So I'm going to go with just, like, team effort and just energy and just the effort. That's what I'm going for. Because, like, it doesn't seem like they're there. And it's frustrating.
Reed Wilkins was on the post-game Sunday night. I was watching it, and he brought up the one thing. He goes, the one thing that really is blowing my mind is the fact that they can't complete passes.
Yeah.
Like they look disjointed. They just cannot complete passes, which is just another thing that adds on top of it. 780-218-9999. Let's get into the fan zone. Will already said the leaders of this team aren't playing well enough, and they'll have to start digging in to get this team going. VR Montenegro says the main reason is that Paul Coffey wanted the head coaching gig. And now he's disappointed. The main reason the Oilers are 0-3 is because I keep touching myself at night. That's in from the Rams fan. Let's see here.
Very Catholic response.
Nash in Whitecourt says Connor McDavid, the marriage is killing him. Hashtag the fan zone.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. The first complaint about
marriage.
Yeah.
He's not as aggressive enough.
Yeah.
No, once I had kids, I stopped being a prick at rec league. Is there a comparison here?
Like automatically or with time?
With time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
just
it's
realized
not a light switch, man.
I realized at some point my health and kids are kind of what mattered, not winning a 10 o'clock game on a Tuesday night.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I know. Deaky Sparkson says, guys, I think they've been sucking because they don't have their headlights on. That's a good one. Guys, the main reason for 0-3 is signing Corey Perry way too early, making them too old and too slow. That's from Greg in Lacombe. Rip City Step says Crosby never got married. Let's see here. You asked Trev for one reason, he gives you 12. Guys, with Fraser working this morning, I feel obligated to say that this is all Sean Horkoff's fault.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A deep Sean Horkoff drop.
That's a deep one. I like that.
He could only stop going one way in practices. It drove me crazy.
Here are some of the replies on Twitter last night to this fan zone question. DFS spreadsheet says, guys, the Stars aren't starring. RCN says the preseason was simply too short. Lack of speed. Oldest team in the league. Let Holloway and Broberg walk for nothing. In each game, the other team outscored ours. Hard to believe, but I looked it up. It's legit. Jerry T says special teams, goals both ways, and momentum. Team defense in general, simply not good enough. Too old, and they swear about the goaltending. No effort, not in sync, subpar goaltending, leaking defensive structure. This is from Jonah. See, now this is interesting because he says no effort, not in sync, subpar goaltending, leaking defensive structure. The one thing he didn't put in there is the fact that they've scored 3 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I know at times last year, the Edmonton Oilers, when they were really on, they could win games 2-1.
Yeah.
3-1. But that's not their identity.
Right.
It never has been, and it consistently never will be.
When you don't have a Draisaitl and a Hyman and a Connor McDavid and a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you know what you need to do? Got to win some low-scoring hockey games. But that's not who they are. They are a team with superstars, guys that score 50 goals, 60 goals, 120 points. They need to win by scoring more goals. Don't overthink it. Like, I will say this, though. I'm surprised no one has said Evan Bouchard yet.
No points on the season for Bouchard. Like, do we group him with the elites, though? Like with the big boys?
He's going to be asking to be paid like one. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a guy who is heading into this season thinking he's got a paycheck that starts with a 1 and a 0 after this season, and he is not playing like it. While he did play like it in the play, that's a guy that outplayed every other team's top defenseman that he went head-to-head against in the playoffs. And
he was really good in the playoffs.
He was so good. Like, he should be so good that you don't worry about your other 2 pairs because you're playing your top pair 27 minutes a night. And right now, do you really want them out there half the time? Like, they stink like the rest of them do.
Johnny Accountant is in and says, guys, no one should rip on Corey Perry. He's the only player on the team playing with passion right now. The reason this team is losing is because the Stars have not shown up for the season yet. And that's a good point because you can look at the goaltending and let's just use in the overall bigger picture, the Rasmus Anderson goal. Yeah, Stuart Skinner let it in, but that gets there because Hyman lunged at him, didn't get him, and McDavid turned completely the wrong way and Anderson walked around him. I mean, those guys simply need to be better. The game against Chicago, Knobloch put them together. And this is what's kind of, I would think, be even more concerning for fans is that, like, they've already done the load up McDavid and Draisaitl 3 games into the year, and it hasn't even worked yet. But they put them together against Chicago. They're buzzing around the offensive zone. Puck gets turned over. It's a 3-on-2 the other way. Connor Bedard goes top cheese and buries it, and McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, it's just the big guys have not to say that anybody else, like, who in this group would you say has played well so far this season? I think Corey Perry's surpassed my expectations for him.
Yeah.
They were low, but he surpassed
Troy Stetcher.
Well, that was the other guy I was going to bring up. I liked Stetcher on Sunday. Definitely what you saw from Stetcher in his 1 game against Calgary. Stetcher looked better than Dermott and Emerson has. Is not even remotely close.
Instigation. He looked like he was trying to instigate things on the ice.
Well, we said this on, I think, on Oil Stream Friday. Like, Stetcher, because of his stature, looks like he's playing with urgency, right? Like, he's a small guy who moves quick. He looks like he plays with urgency, and I think that stands out. A little bit there. Cliff is in and says, Nurse, damn near every game he's the worst player on the ice. I know it's beating on a nearly dead horse, but he has to be better. There was the play that he made that ended up leading to a power play on Sunday where I can't remember who the player was, but they passed it to Nurse, and he was kind of towards in between the corner and his net, and he sort of just flubbed it back to him, and then they got put in a tough spot because of it and took a penalty. Yeah, but that moment right there looked like a guy who has no confidence right now. Right, like the puck came to him, he was like, "Whoa, we're gonna get away from it." It was like a hot potato. Yeah, They got to find a way for Nurse to play with confidence again. I don't know how that happens. I don't know what the recipe is for that. But
yeah, he's a guy with every single tool in the tool chest and no ability to make them work together. right? There's no fluidity to like his size, his speed, his shot. Like he is an above, like if you're grading things out of a 5, he's at least a 4 in every single metric, but it just doesn't seem to come together consistently.
What say you? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Scoobs from GP says, guys, Perry isn't even close to the That's the thing. Perry should be really a non-factor. Like if Perry's a little bit of a positive factor, mission accomplished. Perry isn't even close to the problem. He had great chances in the net area. Connor Brown looks like a completely different player. If anything, our top guys will come back, but it's good. Our bottom 6 looks good right now. This one is in from Steady today in the fan zone. Regular season Bouchard is the softest, laziest player in the NHL. So the season's back.
Yeah.
You know, like the season is back. We are back once again. All right. We'll see how they sort it out. You think they win tonight?
They should, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
I said that against Chicago too.
I think if we call out McDavid even more, like I honestly like
that's your thing.
This guy doesn't like he thrives on people doubting him.
Yeah, they're the underdog. Oh,
Yeah.
really? Are we?
He thrives on it. So if I'm the fan base in this town, I am crapping on him.
You're turning
all
on the
day.
captain
I'm
to get him going.
crapping on him all day long. So he shoves it down our throat.
That's one of those things where you say mean things because you love them.
It's negging.
Yeah.
Isn't that what the kids call it?
Maybe.
You're negging them.
Your thoughts on all
Trev,
this?
is that what you do when you hit the club? Just go around and insult other people's outfits?
I hear Trev sitting in the corner like 9 times a day just being like, oh, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's like that's what he's got going on right now.
It's stupid. It's true.
All right. If you're watching over YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can text us in the Paris Jewelers inbox. 22 locations across 4 provinces. One great website, www.parisjewelers.com. One of your text messages will win text of the day. We need you right now to get into that inbox for kind of easy trivia. We've got gift certificate up for grabs right now to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. If you would like to win that gift certificate, you just need to get 3 of the 5 questions correct. Trev, can we use your ticker today? We realized on Friday Trev's ticker is 4 seconds longer than my ticker.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a real scam.
Is that like, but do we want it? Because it makes it like, I don't know, it's kind of easy trivia. I like the shorter ticker.
All right.
I feel like
you want to be a hard ass, be a hard ass.
Okay, yeah. No,
We'll
I think
go short ticker. We'll go short ticker.
The play because like people, like I notice a difference and people usually get it with my ticker and then there's like 5 extra seconds of like tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
So should we put it up to the nasties? Should we let the nasties?
No, they're all going to vote for it. No, let's just do it.
Shorter
You're right.
ticker.
It's not called.
These are layups. They should get this.
Yeah. Let me see the questions here today. What do I got? Yeah, you should get this. They're all short questions.
And if we get on a bad streak of all L's, we'll maybe consider the longer ticker.
All right, what do you got?
Come on, text. Like, no one's jumping in on the short and long ticker thing. Come on.
Yeah. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 if you would like to play kind of easy trivia today. Let's get to an update right now with YouTube. Trev, brought to you by Claiborne Services. If you are looking for work, Claiborne Services wants you right now. www.claiborneservices.com. Trev's got more on that after the update.
The Edmonton Oilers are back in action tonight when they face Matvei Michkov and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Oilers are currently 0-3 to start the season, which they haven't done since McDavid's rookie season back in 2015-16. Puck drop for this one is at 8 o'clock tonight. Pacific Division rivals Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames also play tonight. The Calgary Flames look to go 4-0 on the season against the Chicago Blackhawks, while the 0-2 Canucks take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. In the majors, both the ALCS and NLCS got started over the weekend. Last night, the New York Mets evened out their series after defeating the Dodgers 7-3. That series is now tied 1-1. And in the ALCS, the New York Yankees take Game 1 of that series by the score of 5-2. Game 2 of that one is tonight, first pitch at 5:38. And then in the NHL yesterday, 6 games in action, including 2 Canadian teams, which saw the Montreal Canadiens losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins by the score of 6-3, and the Ottawa Senators just edging out the Los Angeles Kings 8-7 in overtime. Just one game in the CFL last night, which saw the Montreal Alouettes beating the Ottawa Redblacks by the score of 19-12. The first place Alouettes will be back in action on Saturday when they face the 8-9 BC Lions. And in the NFL for Monday Night Football, it was the AFC East matchup that saw Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills defeat Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets by the score of 23-20. The Bills snapped their 2-game losing streak with that win and now stand alone in first place in the AFC East with a record of 4-2 on the season. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they are an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
The Nasty Bash was awesome, so let's remember it with this song. The EST on Corey B, tattoos still looking strong. 6:30 it wasn't working, so old Smash said so long. AM Nasty C and Fraser, yelling turn your headlights on. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tommy met a new girl heading out the door. No homology stripping, his shirt just hit the floor. Oh my, good lord. Someone pour me birdie booze on a shot ski. Now you know Reed Wilkins was a mystery. X-Ray J's pants got a little pissy. Everybody at the bash was a nasty. Everybody at the bash was a nasty. Everybody at the bash was a nasty. 6 o'clockers right and left. Let me pour it on your head. Moment we won't soon forget. Hey, Norm. Fergie's backwards let us in. Made the last table again. Wrote it out till 2 a.m. Oh, Lord. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tommy met a new girl heading out the door. No homology stripping. His shirt just hit the floor. Oh, my. Good lord. Someone pour me birdie booze on a shot ski. Now you know Reed Wilkins was a mystery. X-Ray J's pants got a little pissy. Everybody at the bash was a nasty.
8:06. It is the Nasty Bash song. Thank you very much for being here today. You were at the Nasty Bash. That was man, that might have been your first real dose of like what the heck is going on.
No. Like I know those people. I love those people.
Yeah.
But I dragged my wife along.
Oh, yeah?
And she had never experienced it. She was like,
what a wake-up call.
She goes, that was intense.
Yeah. I wonder what she was thinking when we brought up Reed Wilkins in a mascot costume and removed the head, you know?
Oh, man. Has his herpes calmed down since then?
Being in a mascot costume?
Yeah. You're like, it's sweet. We got it for like $200. And I'm like, oh, you're getting it.
It was new. I mean, I think it was new. It could have been used, I guess. That was a good deal on a mascot costume, though.
Like, you shouldn't pay less for a used mascot costume.
The Nielsen Show is presented to you by Southford Chevrolet. It is Nielsen with the return of Fraser, who's been on the Hangout a bunch since we launched EST, but he's going to start filling in for me when I'm gone with some CFL stuff, when Eric's on vacation like he is today. The Nielsen Show, Southford Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go out and see Daniel and his family-friendly team. Daniel was telling us when we were out there a couple Fridays ago, he started his, they have like a staff fantasy football league, started 0-4. And he's the general manager of the place.
Okay.
That's tough. That's a tough look when you're calling shots, but you can't draft a good fantasy team.
Not only that, but don't know how to cheat. Like,
that's true, too. Go out and see Daniel and his team. Tell him we sent you. They'll give you an extra $1,000 credit on your trade-in vehicle. All right, who's playing kind of easy trivia today, Trev? Who do we got, man?
Beef Nips.
Beef Nips is going to play today, looking to get his hands on a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. Let the festivities begin. You're invited to Mr. Mike's Fiesta Fusion. Celebrate the flavors of their new Mexican and Spanish-inspired features like...
Come on, dude.
You're going to kill me. I don't know how to say this.
Come on.
Patatas bravas?
You know what?
Did I nail it?
It's like you're
Cool.
you're from there.
Yeah, patatas bravas. I think. I don't know. The Fusion Feast Platter, chili lime ribeye. That sounds nice. Yeah. Feature drinks and more. Plus $1 from every featured entree sold will help nourish a hungry child through the local breakfast program in the community. Join the Fiesta Fusion at your local Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casually. Beef Nips is going to play kind of easy trivia today. Needs to get 3 of 5 correct. Beef Nips, you ready to roll, buddy?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, I'll start the ticker after read the first question. Good luck. How many wins do the Oilers have this season?
0.
Who did the Oilers lose to on Sunday?
Calgary.
Who did the Elks beat on Saturday?
Calgary.
Which team won the NFL Monday Nighter?
Buffalo Bills.
What position does Josh Allen play?
Turn your headlights on.
Oh, he got it. Only needed 3.
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a paddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Oh, you better believe that's a paddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a paddling.
The first year, we took it to the limit.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
All right, there we go. 4 out of 5. And a little tribute to Fraser being in today with the turn your headlights on as a throwaway answer at the end. Fraser, what's it like being the turn your headlights on guy?
It's all I could ask for.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. And I feel like I've really had an impact.
What are you going to say, Trev?
For people that don't know the headlight story, the history of the turn your headlights on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've
I have no idea.
Literally,
This is the thing.
I think I just came in one morning so exasperated by the amount of people that were driving like on the highway at 130 kilometers an hour, like dark. I think I screamed
He's
it
just
into
like,
a mic.
turn your headlights on. And it just became a thing. Became a thing.
But we've all been there, haven't we? Like especially this time of year where the guy's been running around without headlight. Like they've both been burnt out all summer long, but the sun never goes down. And then they hit winter and they just still are like, who needs headlights?
Well, I have two of these stories. I was driving down to Calgary for a CFL game on the night. It was a nasty storm. Like hail, thunder, lightning. I pulled over and ready. It was like I was driving the smallest rental vehicle of all time.
Yeah.
But the car ahead of me was driving in this massive storm at night, no lights on.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is this person doing? They were scaring me. I was like, there's something up. And then last week, was it last week or the week before?
It was Min Dariwal, wasn't it?
It must have been. Because he stole your line. But last week, last week during a morning, I was driving into work and there was a vehicle behind me coming down Stony Plain Road that didn't have lights on. Yeah. And I was like, what is this person up to?
Yeah.
So I was like following it, it was behind me. I was keeping eyes on it because it might have been sketchy. And then it pulls up next to me and it was a cop. Oh. And they didn't have their lights on. So then I was thinking, well, if it was somebody that wasn't a cop, I might look over and be like, hey, your lights are on, because they might not know.
Yeah.
But what am I supposed to do to a cop? And then I thought, was he trying to scope me out a little bit?
Yeah.
Right? Following with what do they say? I think there's a code for this. No lights. No sirens.
That's right.
So I don't know what that was about.
He was just running dark.
Or he's just the worst cop ever.
That could be it.
Could be the case.
Yeah.
We're going to get to 3 questions too many. We're going to get to Fired Up. That's a new segment. We'll give some details on that. But Ian Rappaport just tweeting out a few moments ago, the Raiders are completing a trade of star wide receiver Devontae Adams to, any guesses?
Chargers?
The Jets. I knew you'd love this because what did you say earlier? The Jets try to skip all the steps.
They're line skippers.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers last night, I mean, if I threw a deep ball to Mike Williams, I'd probably want a new receiver in there too. But still, I don't know if you've watched the Jets so far, and last night's game was a mess. There was kicks that were missed. There were flags that killed the momentum of the game. Does this fix the Jets? Does this get the Jets to where they need to be?
I think part of the Jets' problem is the opposition. There's not a team in the NFL that does not get up to take on the Jets. Like, every other team in the NFL hates the Jets, right? Like part of the problem is you are an unlikable squad. Like no one takes the night off. Everyone shows up.
Is that Aaron Rodgers driven?
Yes. Like when and ownership and like they are just an unlikable bunch. Like
what about when they had Sanchez running butt fumbles? Were they lovable losers then? Or was it still
we loved that they lost. I don't know if that makes you a lovable loser. Like
all right, so Davante Adams has been traded. According to Rap Sheet, he is going to the New York Jets.
Does that make him an ad? As a fantasy?
In fantasy, well, people would have had him stashed anyway, even though he hadn't been playing recently.
But like knowing that he's going to be the number one target.
Well, what this does hurt is Garrett Wilson's fantasy value moving forward. Like right now, there's only one mouth to feed through the air there.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be Garrett Wilson. Aaron Rodgers has his guys, so he's mixed in Lazard more than you would have thought Lazard. It came with him from Green Bay.
Yeah.
He's the new Randall Cobb. That's what Lazard is.
Yeah.
And now they're adding Davante Adams in here. So I don't want to say it crushes because both those guys are so talented. You still want to be starting them both, but it hurts Garrett Wilson's value big time. Big time. We'll see if this gets Aaron Rodgers back on track. Probably he was okay last night. Had the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That I tweeted last night. I think receivers need more credit on Hail Marys. Like there's like
the ball.
9 people in there, and you managed to come down with it. I think that's more impressive than the quarterback who can throw it really far.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my take.
Although Rodgers has made a career,
he's had 4 of them now
out of that throw.
I'm just trying to think. Like
only Joe Flacco's had better success.
Flacco's still going, which is crazy. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, where Lieutenant Eric is coincidentally working part-time today. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. Trev, do you have a Twitter account? Let's get that plug in here.
Yes, I do. You can follow me at YouTube_Trev on Twitter. Thank you.
You basically, because your Twitter handle is still Will Fraser for hire. You haven't been on social media and
I don't touch it.
No. You're not, look,
not to trash what you guys love so much. It's a toxic cesspool.
It is.
And it just makes me feel bad about people I love. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I have friends and neighbors who I get along with so much better now that I don't know their every single thought.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're not on Facebook. You're nowhere. You're completely out.
Yeah.
Not even Instagram.
Yeah. I just TikTok.
You're just on the For You page of TikTok. All right, it's the Nielson Show. Will Fraser in the co-host chair today. Let's get into 3 questions too many today. Of course, you can text in your questions anytime you want. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Question number 1. Boys, what was the most memorable moment that you guys had doing the show together?
Slam dunk competition.
Oh, yeah, that was
when Dusty injured himself.
Yeah, that one still lives in infamy, doesn't it? But as I point out all the time, and were you judging that one? You were judging.
I think I was judging that one because I'd won the previous.
Yeah, which is incredible.
Well, I did the off the wall, remember?
You did.
I did the Matrix.
Yeah. So you had won one, so you were judging. And you gave me a 9. I was in first.
Well, you committed.
When I hurt myself. I went over the barrel, down onto the lip of the door, and then down and straight to WCB.
Yeah.
Straight to a workman's comp.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good. I always tell the story how when our boss there was trying to fight my old co-host, and you're like, "Hey, Wayne Gretzky's on the phone."
Yeah,
because we weren't expecting Wayne to call in.
Surreal 5 minutes any of us have ever experienced. like because I'm back at the station. You are live on location. I can only hear audio. I have no idea what's going on, but it doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't sound like things are calm. And then all of a sudden the phone randomly rings and I pick it up, like just expecting anyone. And it's not Wayne Gretzky's people. It's just Wayne being like, "Hey, yeah, no, I'm supposed to talk to, I think, a Dustin Nielson." And it was bananas.
I've been trying to get him for a while, and then
bananas.
Yeah, and I remember I was watching our boss and Chaser argue like an umpire and a manager, like face to face.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at that, and then I go here. Fraser goes, "Hey, Dusty, Wayne Gretzky's on the line." I was like, "Oh no!" So I'm interviewing the great one while I'm watching this go down. The early days. Early days. That was that was like
Yeah.
When
When Doug Waite gave my wife a shout out.
that was cool. That was a good one.
that
When we
was-
took that photo with you, me, and Eric and put it on a Christmas card and sent it to Macramala.
That was one of my favorite
That was a
things ever.
great day too. That was a great day too. When you dressed up like the bear on the post-show show and attacked everything.
What do you mean dressed up? That was after Bershgalov.
That's right.
Said the only thing I'm afraid of is barren woods.
Yeah. Too good, man. That was fun. That was good times. Good times.
There was a couple of Halloween howlers that will go down in history because Dustin, being the young man that he was, he would like be doing a Golden Bears game beforehand,
I'd catch up,
and so you'd show up at 10 o'clock, and the first question you would ask me is not like what's been going on, or you'd be like, how many in are you? And so I'd be like, I don't know, I've had like 4 Ryan Gingers, and so you would go and order like a quadruple Ryan
open
Ginger.
Open bar.
Quadruple Ryan Ginger and pound that and then have another. You had one year where you didn't make 11:30.
No. The best howler story was Boom. Remember Boom would always come out.
Yeah.
And
your brother-in-law.
And the Godfather would be there. So anyway, the one year we got there, I remember Tammy dropped us off and then she went home. And she'd been home for like 10 minutes. And I was calling her. I was like, you have to come get us.
You
and
were
she's
crying
like,
on the curb.
I just got home.
You gotta come. It's so bad.
I lost Boom. He was gone. She comes and gets me. I'm laying dressed as Peter Griffin on the side of the Shaw Conference Center.
Yeah.
She picks us up, picks me up, takes me home. Then Boom calls. He's like, you got to let me in. And we're like, where are you?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm outside. He was dressed as the chicken. We went as Peter Griffin the chicken, and we were fighting each other for the 45 minutes we were at the howler. And then we go let him in. I'm like, what happened to you? He goes, well, I left to go to this other party. And right after we got there, I said, okay. He goes, but I have to go pee. And I couldn't get the thing open. So I decided to come home. And I said, oh, well, let me help you. He goes, it's too late. He pissed this chicken costume. And Tammy's sitting there. It's like 10:45.
Oh, yeah. Like
she
none
took
of
us
us
down there at
understood why
9:30.
Tam stuck around.
Oh,
like,
God.
oh, yeah, you were a trainer. And not only that, but we should include Eric in this. Young Eric, he is such a calm, collected, organized person nowadays.
Yeah.
But when he first started working for us, old Rip Jesus, as we called him back
That's what
then.
we did call him. He was jacked.
He was jacked.
Yeah.
He was a mess.
Yeah.
He would disappear at random from Halloween Howlers and go and become what we called the Lizard King and just like float around downtown, like just randomly jaywalking down streets, like not doing well. He was not exactly all there at the time. And do you remember he would every now and then he wouldn't make it in like for the start of the show.
Yeah.
And I would just I would never be upset with him because I would just spend the entire time worried sick that like he was dead somewhere. He came in one time and he was in such a rough place that he couldn't hold the mouse because his hand was shaking so much. I was like, you got to go home.
He's
man."
matured a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's matured
He's
a
a
little
completely
bit.
different person now. Yeah.
We're all grown-ups now. Question number 2, guys. What percentage chance would you put on the Oilers missing the playoffs?
A percentage?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I mean, I might even think 5's a little high.
Yeah.
It's so early. I'd
5.
Yeah, 5 max.
Injuries happen.
Talked to my neighbor yesterday. He came by, and so he's a very passionate Oilers fan. My neighbor.
Is there
my
any other
neighbor,
kind?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, my neighbor Keith. So I'm driving by, and I saw him. He was pulling out of his driveway, and I could tell by the look on his face he needed to vent a little
Yeah.
bit. So I pulled into my driveway, and I knew I was like, Keith's coming by for sure.
Yeah.
And he rolls down the window, and he's like, I got to tell you. He goes, I'm worried. I think they're a wild card team.
Yeah.
I think they might just be a wild card team. I said, fair adjustments of expectations. Yeah. I thought they could maybe take a run at the conference at least, but they're looking 2-3-ish in the division right now with the way they play.
Well,
so far.
Oiler fan, do you feel the same way about the Avs as you do about the Oilers? Like, if you're in full panic.
Also
like
a train wreck to start the year.
Trev, do you feel the same way about the Avs as you do about the Oilers?
Yeah, it's an interesting comment, hey? Because you what?
Like, they're almost in identical situations.
They've been worse defensively.
Yeah, no, like eventually the
Like
dice,
when you compare expectations to reality, they're almost identical.
it's very similar. The Avs, McKinnon, like I don't know, man. If I were to start a franchise, I'd almost this might be a hot take, but like McKinnon's right up there, right? Like
It's not even on the line.
And it's like with like McDavid, the thing that McKinnon has, well, and this might change, or my mind has changed since seeing McDavid obviously rip his teammates a new one. But you were hearing that, and you saw McKinnon do that, and he just had that intensity. So they're going to right the ship. The Oilers are going to right the ship, but it is weird that both teams are going through what they are right now.
Yeah.
The difference for fan base is that Colorado has delivered a Stanley Cup.
Right.
So they might be a little bit more like, we're satisfied. Where Oilers fans have just been disappointed year after year after year after year. So maybe we get that playoff matchup somewhere along the way between these two teams if they end up figuring out Mo's in there and says, guys, Avs goaltending is worse than the Oilers. Yeah. Yeah, Avs goaltending, I would be more concerned about that.
Not only that, but it does seem like the Oilers love Skinner. Like as a team, like they rally around that guy. Whereas if I was Georgiev, I would be afraid of my teammates at this point. It does not seem like they love him, and never really have.
Nor should they.
Yeah.
Question number 3, guys. What's the biggest positive for the Elks this season?
They got rid of their head coach.
Good point. That's probably it.
Yeah.
The new ownership. I mean,
that's
yeah.
You know what?
I'd probably go new ownership.
That might be a tie.
Yeah. I was going to look at like Justin Rankin or some of these young guys. Well, Nick Anderson probably could be rookie of the year. He's got 100 bloody tackles. But new ownership.
Yeah, I actually like yours. Yours is a positive. Yours is an actual positive. Mine is just kind of like eliminating a negative.
Eliminating it. Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it.
Yeah.
If you want to chime in on that, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer that thumbs up for us and give us a sub as we work our way up towards 11,000 subs. Changing 300. Moving along nicely today. This is real nice.
Changing 100.
All right, let's get into a new segment. We're going to have this segment's going to be on our show Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then on the Reed Wilkins show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Trev, grab that new graphic. The segment's called Fired Up.
Wow.
It's kind of what fires you up.
Nice.
Brought to you by Napoleon, Gemco and Napoleon. Gemco Fireplace has been around, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years and are the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Nice little fireplace, eh? Delicious. We should put a fireplace in here.
It would work.
Yeah, whereabouts in the office would we put a fireplace?
Yeah. I mean, and with the power issues, I'm sure nothing would go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong with that dirty power. But no, a huge shout out to the crew at Gemco and obviously Napoleon. If you're looking for that Napoleon fireplace, they've got you covered. 9281 50th Street. Here's what's fired me up all weekend. Have to get to it. So I'm driving to Calgary on Friday afternoon, which was great. I got to listen to second half of EST Afternoons with Hernan Gager. Listened to about 2 hours of the Reed Wilkins show. I absolutely love that show, but something those guys said fired me up. And it was both of them, and I was livid, and it still sits with me here on Tuesday morning.
It is
4
stuck
days
in
later.
your craw.
100%. Those two guys were both on board with being okay with a turkeyless Thanksgiving. That fires me up. Why in the world would you not have turkey, at least as an option, at Thanksgiving? Both of them are like, you can do a ham, you can do you can do a brisket, you can do all this stuff.
No, you can't.
Look, you can do a lot of that stuff the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Nobody's cooking a turkey on a random Wednesday throughout the year.
Yeah.
This is the time for turkey.
Yeah.
You have turkey here, you have turkey at Christmas maybe sometimes. But turkey is Thanksgiving. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, Christmas is the one where you change it up.
You can switch it up.
Yeah, Christmas is the one where you're like, you know what? We've done this. Let's do something different for Christmas.
We still like a turkey, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving
is
a turkeyless Thanksgiving?
That is weird.
What is this?
That is weird.
This is amateur hour.
What are they trying to encourage?
I don't know. They're obviously not getting that big turkey money.
Yeah.
because I was very disappointed in the boys. I love the show. If you've not yet checked out the Reed Wilkins show from 3 to 6, Reed is brilliant.
Yeah.
Jay is doing extremely well riding
That's
shotgun
classic
with him.
social media. That's what that is. They're just trying to troll. They're trolling. That's a
You think
troll
that's what
job.
this is?
That's what that is.
Nobody can deep down in their heart.
Yeah, no one
believe
actually
that.
believes that.
Trev,
turkey at things.
you with your roommates this weekend did a
disappointing.
first ever turkey dinner for all of you. How did it go?
I've never had a more dry turkey in my life. It was very depressing. It sucked, but it was a turkey, and you gotta have a turkey. Like my favorite thing about
Did
a turkey.
someone tell you it takes a long time to cook? So you
How
just
long
put
did
it
you
in
leave
on a
the turkey
Friday
in for?
and-
Like 5.5 hours?
No, like not even that long. Like
We do like 3.5, 4 hours.
yeah, it was right
gotta
around
use a
there.
thermometer.
Temp at about 170. So it was right temp.
You know, 170 is the brown. That's your dark meat. That's your problem right there. You're supposed to be 140 on the white meat.
On the white meat.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, there's your
Neither
problem.
did I. Okay, well, there
Were
goes
you in
that.
charge of the turkey though?
It was me and Ferg.
Okay.
We were both like kind of just winging it.
Never trust
No
a
pun
Ferg.
intended. But yeah, like it was okay, and it was like a
Black-eyed peas
package.
didn't. No one should trust a Ferg.
Yeah, no.
I got
Don't
a
trust a
Ferg.
Ferg, and you got a Ferg as well. But like I've never seen it before. The stuffing was already in it, so that was kind of concerning.
What do you mean the stuffing was already in it? You bought a pre-stuffed turkey?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
you can. You can
really?
get that. Yeah.
And it wasn't even a big turkey. Like this was like a little guy.
So
Salmonella guaranteed.
Yeah.
How was the stuffing?
No. It was wet and soggy. And so we tried it just was not good. But the potatoes were not good.
worst Thanksgiving dinner ever.
Would it have tasted better with an Oilers win?
Yeah, it actually certainly would have.
100%.
We had some wine and champagne that was good. So that's all the stuff that was good was like
The booze.
yeah, and like the buns, the dinner buns, which I got, but I didn't make them. I bought them, but they were good, nice and just soft and just packaged that made that day very good. So I had like so many buns. But like everything else, the salad was soggy. It waited too long because we were taking too long with the turkey. It was our first go. You could tell, but I had fun with it. You know, it was a
Were
real
you
fun
coaching?
time.
Like, were you the guy like orchestrating it?
No, that was Ferg. But like we were,
So you were a turkey sidekick.
yeah, essentially.
That's
And that was,
okay.
Sounds
and
like
I
you
did the
need to
dishes.
take the wheel next time.
Yeah, I think so. And
that's a good point.
I carved the turkey. And that was a
Did you
process.
carve it?
Oh gosh,
Electric
yeah.
knife
It was the
or,
first time. No, just a regular, nice.
I use
knife.
regular knife too. I did use
Sharp
electric knife one time
Yeah.
when I was with my parents.
Like a chainsaw.
That was the first time my dad was like, "Son, it's your time to carve the turkey."
Yeah, a little
By the
tear
way,
in his eye.
Shout out to both my parents. Had their birthdays Saturday and Sunday. My dad is
birthday.
now a
Happy
senior
birthday.
citizen.
Yeah.
He turned 65, so
go.
he's old now. But yeah, that electric knife, and it was an old one. It was like from like the 90s.
Yeah.
But it was
Like
still
when a pole
perfect.
start?
Yeah, pretty much. I had to put gas in. I had to prime it.
Yeah.
And that's man, Trev. That's sorry, buddy. That's a
That's
tough
okay.
one.
I don't know. You know what? It's
Next
whatever.
year, you
Next
come
year,
over to Fraser's house for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. He's
Thank
got
you.
14 people.
I would have invited you.
Thank you.
Had I
How big a
known.
turkey did you guys have?
It was 24 pounds, 23 and change.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
So did you pre-carve that
But
one
like,
again, or did
there's 5 teenage boys.
Yeah,
now at
you got to
that
do
table.
that.
Yeah.
It's like a pack of hyenas.
Yeah. No, so like the breasts I had already carved off, and then I use a little butcher's twine, cook those separately. So it's super easy to carve.
Butcher's
afterwards.
twine. Who are you, Corey the Butcher from Acme Meats?
I wish.
Listen to this guy. All right, so that's what fired me up over the weekend. You can text in what fired you up over the weekend, too. We get to a few more of those. But a new segment.
Nate the Builder, Trev, you have to brine the turkey overnight.
What's brine mean?
Noted.
Like salt water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it must be healthy.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
salt
You
water.
bathe in salt water.
Yeah. It keeps you. How do you think I look like this?
They don't make the turkey gargle salt water.
Johnny, were you doing drowning turkey? Yeah. That was good. Johnny account says, Dusty, give Trev a hug. Trev, you do need a hug
It's
today.
fine. It's
I
fine.
think he needs more than a hug.
It's
He
not
needs-
as bad as I'm making it seem. Like
he
when I had a
needs,
grand old
like-
time.
No, but also the Oilers combined with this
Yeah,
turkey
that was so
controversy.
stupid.
Like, I feel sorry for everybody.
He needs a rock while you sing like a soothing song.
Yeah. I'm gonna nap you. I'm gonna put you down for a nap
Yeah.
today.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy Kill mockingbird.
We'll get you a better bird, next year.
Turkey bird.
All right, that's fired up. Jemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and the area for 45 years, and the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning fireplace. Yeah, I would certainly burn down my home, 100%, or I'd never use it. So quickly, we have a fire.
That's how the birds get in the house. You know that
from the old times. Yeah. But we had this was a confession. You wouldn't have been around. This was like a year ago. We had a fireplace that turns on with just like a button, but I thought it was broken.
Yeah,
for years.
Okay.
My dad is on the phone. We're FaceTime one time. He goes, "Just try this, try that." Boom, fired up, no problem. I thought it was broken. We didn't use it for 6.5 years.
I love that you didn't get it fixed. No, you just accepted. I guess this doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, but now we got this working fireplace. Now, if I need anything, I can go see the great crew at Jemco. 9281 50th Street. I believe Gager's going to pop by today. We'll get to Joaquin Gage. There he is. He's waiting. He's in his Red Bull gear. Perfect. We'll get to Joaquin Gage coming up. We'll get to an orange and blue breakfast for GCL Diesel. And hey, I'm fired up to have our new partners on board. Should be a good segment. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, fired up with the Reed Wilkins Show. Tuesdays, Thursdays, fired up right here with the Nielson Show. Let's get to an update right now for Sit and Sleep, where today, live on location, the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 to 6 today. Reed Wilkins, Glue Guy, live at Sit and Sleep. Swing on by, see them, buy something you can sit on, buy something you can sleep on, or just go lay down for the entire show while they're doing it. You could do that as well. Let's get to an update with Trev.
The Edmonton Oilers are back in action tonight when they face Matvei Michkov and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Oilers are currently 0-3 to start the season, which they haven't done since McDavid's rookie year back in 2015-16. Puck drop for this one is at 8 o'clock tonight. Pacific Division rivals Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames also play tonight. The Calgary Flames look to go 4-0 on the season against the Chicago Blackhawks, while the 0-2 Canucks take on Tampa Bay Lightning. In the majors, both the ALCS and NLCS got started over the weekend. Last night, the New York Mets evened out their series after defeating the Dodgers 7-3. That series is now tied 1-1. And in the ALCS, the New York Yankees take Game 1 of that one by the score of 5-2. Game 2 of that series is tonight, first pitch at 5:38. In the NHL yesterday, 6 games in action, including 2 Canadian teams, which saw the Montreal Canadiens losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins by the score of 6-3. And the Ottawa Senators just edging out the Los Angeles Kings 8-7 in overtime. Just one game in the CFL last night, which saw the Montreal Alouettes beating the Ottawa Redblacks by the score of 19-12. The first place Alouettes will be back in action on Saturday when they face the 8-9 BC Lions. And in the NFL for Monday Night Football, it was an AFC East matchup that saw Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills defeat Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets by the score of 23-20. The Bills snapped their 2-game losing streak with that win and now stand alone in first place in the AFC East with a record of 4-2 on the season. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor. Next to Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common.
I can remember back being an 11-year-old kid, about 75 pounds on the basketball court against the neighborhood bully, kicking his behind left, right, and center.
I call you when I need you, my heart's on fire.
When it was all said and done, he was a little upset, so he punched me in the mouth.
You come to me, wild and wild.
My uncles were over on the side, observing, talking amongst themselves, adult things.
When you come to me, give me a...
When he punched me in my mouth, I decided I'm running to my uncle. You know what he did? He pushed me back to him. I went back and he punched me in my mouth again. I ran to my uncle, looking for protection. Needed Big Brother to protect me. He pushed me back again. And you know what I did? I faced him in the eyes and I said, my uncle's not going to help me. And I punched him in the face. Then I looked him in the eye and I said, then what? Now what? Now what? Now what are you going to do?
You're simply the best.
Little little Cavis Reed pump up song for you here on a Tuesday morning. Maybe that's by Whale and the Wolf, EST House Band. There'll be a GEDFest on the 19th, gedfest.ca for more info on tickets for that. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get to that 10.4 as we work our way up to 11,000 subs. We've got lots to get to still. Orange and Blue Breakfast coming up for our partners at GCL Diesel. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Ford Chevrolet. Check out their website for all the great deals. They'll beat any price you can find anywhere else. www.southfordchev.com. We've got Joaquin Gage, Gager, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. They have an upcoming private signing with 5-time Stanley Cup champion Dr. Randy Gregg, located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. Gager, what's going on? But you look like you're under a red light today. What's happening here? Oh, Gager.
Sorry, I was getting ready for lights out there, Dusty. That's it's race week. Week.
It is race week, so you're fired up. You're back. That's why you're wearing the Red Bull. Gager, you know Will Fraser. We've met.
Who? No, of course, Will. It's been a pleasure to have you on. It's a blast from the past, and I was thinking Eric might come in late and like he used to, and take over from Trev for a little bit and have the whole the three amigos back. But awesome job. Can't wait to see you later on today. Hopefully, you're still around before your massive run.
Well, I've got to get naked in Matty Awanik's office again, so I'll be here.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Oh, it is.
Phrase goes in and gets fully changed in Awanik's office.
Yeah, I take off my pants and I sit somewhere, but I don't tell him where.
Don't. I was hoping you did that in my office because I've installed 3 cameras.
All right, Gager. Look, we'll get to race week in a second, but we got to talk about the Edmonton Oilers, an 0-3 start. What are you not seeing from this team 3 games into the year?
It's a lack of. I don't want to. It's hard to say because it looks like there's no desire, right? It's very sporadic. I thought they started games okay. And even last game, scoring the first goal, I thought that was kind of okay. That's the catalyst to make this team start trying a little bit more and get more involved. But it's like they're all waiting for something else to happen. And the thing that becomes very dangerous for this team, I think, is when you have players like, all through the lineup, there's a lot of difference makers. And then what happens is everyone tries to start doing a little bit too much, and you're just not going to win hockey games like that. They have to find that winning atmosphere to a man throughout the whole team. They have to become better as a team, and it really looks like just a bunch of individuals right now.
We've seen McDavid, especially in last year's playoffs and in parts of the season, he responds to doubt, right? He responds to having the media, the fan base, other teams. He responds to when people think that he can't do it. How do you bottle that? Especially as a teammate, how do you bottle that? How do you get your captain to have a little bit of hate on for everybody and want to shove it down their throat?
It seems like a switch, but yeah, Will, you're exactly right. At times throughout the regular season, I know over the past few years, as soon as people start doubting the Edmonton Oilers, that's when that galvanizes the group. It seems like, to a man. Like, you look at last year when Darnell Nurse had his pissy moment,
right?
With one word answers. He comes back with one of his best games of the year. Even in the playoffs, in the finals, McDavid daring people to bet against his team. Like, this is, I don't know why they can't just do that on their own. Maybe they have to watch one of the greatest sport documentaries of all time that'll never be beaten, The Last Dance, and watch Michael Jordan, how he was able to motivate himself and motivate everyone else around him. That'll just be perfect. Right, Dusty?
You had to do it, Gager?
No, but obviously I'm kidding with that, but find something. I don't know, put up old press clippings of when everyone doubted you. Something has to light the fire. I like what you said earlier about how difficult is it for a coach to say, McDavid, you have to get going. This is the best player in the world at present. That's something that has to be, I think, the biggest thing is getting him going, because he hasn't been good enough. We've heard it all. We've seen it for the past 3 games. We've also heard it from Craig Button as well. Will, you've hit a nail on the head there. Their best players have to be their best players. So you can't have Connor Bedard outshining Connor McDavid in a game against a much inferior team.
Trying to find bright spots from the weekend. I thought Jeff Skinner, not that he'd played other good games, but he finally had a good game, I thought. And what do you think of Stetcher getting his first crack at it?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's, at least there seems to be desire in his game. He's I like the way he moves. He's as physical as he can be. I liked it. I thought he would be more of a, look what he's doing, and everyone kind of following suit. But this team, unfortunately, this team goes as the way that Leon and Connor do, right? They have to, I think, a simplified game, even on the offensive side of things, is what has to be done. But I mean, that Rasmus Anderson goal, that encapsulates how this season has gone, when 2 of your best players and one of the hardest working guys in the NHL looks like he's not really trying.
That is a concern. That one goal does summarize your best players not playing up to their full capabilities and teams taking advantage of it. Now, do you expect them to get back on track tonight against Philly?
It's hard for me to say no, Dusty, to that. We're still waiting on something, but nothing's shown me that they're ready to take a step. This is a Torts coached hockey team. They're going to play a full 60 minutes, but I think even on Friday, I was saying going into the weekend that this Oilers team, all they have to do is match the work ethic, the intensity, and the execution of the other team, and they're a far more skilled group of individuals that it should eventually take over. But I don't know if there's a game that can get them fired up a little bit more, I think it is against the Philadelphia Flyers, because they do play kind of that physical. Maybe it draws them into a more physical battle, because there's lots of areas that you can look at as the reasons why the Edmonton Oilers haven't been successful, but physicality is definitely one of them. The old adage, give a hit, take a hit to get into the game. That's what they have to do.
Before we let you go, United States Grand Prix, Formula One, back on North American soil. Seems like we haven't had a race in forever. What were the big storylines heading into this one?
Well, obviously, Ricciardo in retirement, right? Liam Lawson, although it's his first getting into the RB car, he's taking a grid penalty because Ricciardo took all the power units, so he starts on the back foot. But the exciting thing is, the big news is Haas joining with Toyota. They have a new livery for Texas, and Alpine. They have an Indiana Jones themed car this weekend, Dusty. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course,
snakes.
I think so. There's snake tires, snake treads on the tires.
Snakes.
That's going to be exciting. And of course, just seeing what after this break, seeing what adjustments they've made, and if Lando can basically catch Max, this is and put him behind and see how Red Bull can do. This is exciting.
Why do we have an Indiana Jones themed car? There's no new movie why? What's the deal with that? Do you know what the story's behind it? It's not like they're doing anything.
Hey, this is the most exciting. Don't poo-poo on Alpine.
Okay,
it's the most
curious.
Exciting thing they've done all year, Dusty.
Alpine finally made it.
let's just be happy we're actually going to have eyes on the Alpine.
They
week.
said, hey, let's give people a reason to talk about us. How can we do that? Indiana Jones car.
Perfect.
Probably.
And maybe we'll see Harrison Ford on the in the paddock, right?
How was Thanksgiving, Gager? What'd you do? Big family thing? Small family thing?
Yeah, big family thing. 12 people. It was everybody at the in-laws. Great.
In-laws, okay.
Yeah. No, nothing like Trev's. That sounded awful. Just terrible. That sounded like something for Halloween. But mine was all perfect. Everything was done correctly. we had a massive, massive feast.
Gager, we'll see you in the office here later today.
Can't wait.
There you go. That's Joaquin Gage for Pro-Am Sports. He'll be in. 2 guys and goalie from 12 until 1 today with myself, Cass, and Gager. Obviously, more dissecting of the Oilers' start and getting you ready for the game tonight. GCL Diesel pregame show tonight as well at 7 o'clock. You dive into Formula One?
I used to, man. I used to
be before the documentary.
Yeah, I used to be a huge open wheel racing fan, but
you just lost it.
Yeah, once Indy Series kind of went through all of its fits and starts and broke in half and all of that, it kind of lost me, man. Like, and not only that, but the death of Greg Moore just broke my heart.
That was one tough to get back into.
He was such a good driver. Like the what could have been is
that's a big time what if.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. All right, let's get into the Orange and Blue Breakfast today, brought to you by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. So you know they're good at what they do. And, of course, now a major partner with us here at Edmonton Sports Talk. It is the Orange and Blue Breakfast. It is the Oilers and the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. The GCL Diesel pregame show will start at 7 o'clock, postgame to follow as well with Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, Matt Cassian. Reed Wilkins has been hopping on the postgames as well. Let's get to your projected lineups for both of these clubs tonight. As I bring up the lineups, you are excited to see Michkov for the first
aren't
time,
you?
eh?
Like this is our first chance to see him live and in person of what many are expecting to be a pretty exciting
Supposed
career.
to be a big deal, yeah.
Right?
It's supposed to be a pretty big deal. It'd be good to get a look at him. If he outperforms McDavid and Draisaitl, people are going to be absolutely losing their minds tomorrow morning and on the GCL Diesel
and they
postgame
should
tonight.
be losing their minds on McDavid and Draisaitl. Like if he outplays McDavid and Draisaitl and we have more people going, Darnell Nurse was terrible, you're missing the point.
We get it. Nurse isn't good.
Yeah.
But the big boys have not shown up yet. McDavid, we'll see where they go. We know Knobloch's already been moving it around so far. But McDavid between Hyman and Skinner, Draisaitl between Arvidsson and Nuge, Podkolzin, Henrique and Brown, Matthias Janmark with Derek Ryan and Corey Perry, Ekholm Bouchard, Nurse Dermott, Kulak with Stetcher. As for the Philadelphia Flyers and what they're bringing to town tonight, Morgan Frost between Michkov and Owen Tippett, Jet Lachenko with Tyson Forrester and Konechny, Sean Couturier with Bobby Brink and Scott Lawton, and then Noah Cates with Garnet Hathaway and Nick Delorier. On the back end, Cam York and Sanheim, Eric Johnson and Jamie Drysdale, Igor Zamula and Rasmus Ristolainen, future Edmonton Oiler, probably. That's the back end for Philadelphia. As for a list of guys who aren't tough enough to play tonight, it is your injury report for Podium Physiotherapy. Knee pain from that nagging ACL injury? Hip or shoulder pain slowing you down? Back pain after a long day of work? They've got you covered. Whether it's a sports injury, post-op recovery, or the wear and tear of everyday life, the expert team is here to get you back on track. Podium Physiotherapy, NHL caliber treatment for the everyday individual. Book now at podiumphysiotherapy.com. Injury report for tonight, Evander Kane and Roby Jarvency, the two guys on the injured list right now for the Edmonton Oilers. Philadelphia Flyers, relatively healthy coming into this one. Nick Seeler placed on the injury reserve on this past Friday. As for a key to a victory tonight, usually Lieutenant Eric handles this. Today we send it over to Will Fraser. Fraser, what's the key to a victory tonight?
4 points by Connor McDavid.
4 point. I like that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they go 4 points from McDavid and they lose?
Then
there's a problem.
Then we're something to talk about.
At that point, you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
keys to
that's
an
a
Oilers
tough
victory are Connor McDavid going out there and proving that he is exactly who he is.
He's got to be motivated to go get a dub here, right? They do not want to go winless on a pretty cupcake 4-game homestand.
Yeah, I'd be using AI and just having Tortorella trashing McDavid.
Just here's what we saw from
practice today. Tortorella just said that you've been overrated since you were 12 years old, and he can't believe you've fooled us this long.
Have you dove into AI? Have you used AI ever?
Yeah, you want to scare yourself? Just go and just play around.
Did you ever see the show Capture on Amazon Prime? You should watch that. They have basically basically it's about
Trust
everything
nothing.
being on
Yeah,
camera,
yeah.
and they can do whatever they want with the faces, and
yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah.
It's
They
scary.
never improve it. That's my big thing. Like, feel free. Take it
Like,
up a notch.
Crank AI up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not bad. Actually, I like that idea. All right, my game day prediction will be. We hit this a little bit earlier. I want to say Leon Draisaitl scores a goal tonight. Keep it pretty basic. Leon Draisaitl will score a goal tonight. That is my
You're
game
so
day prediction.
brave.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Yeah, I went McDavid over. What I say, McDavid over 1.5 points. That's usually good.
Yeah.
Not the case so far.
Right.
Time to get going for the big boys. And you know what? Here's the thing. If they get going, everything follows along.
Well, they will return to the mean.
It's the GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. GCL Diesel Oil Understood on the Reed Wilkins Show. And then, of course, our GCL Diesel pre- and post-game coverage of the Edmonton Oilers. Huge shout-out to Cam and the crew over at GCL Diesel. All right, let's dive into the wrap for William Huff. Remember, we used to call this the grand finale of the place. Now it's a wrap because
It's a
William
wrap.
Huff wraps things like our wall here.
And it's kind of like wrapping up.
Thank you. Yes, that's right.
Still got it.
What did we learn on the show today, buddy?
Well, first of all, we learned that YouTube Trev, dynamite sports read.
Great sports reads.
Just
And you know what?
dynamite.
Playing hurt, kind of. Because
Oh, really?
the Oilers have broke your heart.
Yeah.
And,
Do you mean that, Will?
And your turkey. Your,
Does it matter?
Oh, yeah, kind of. I don't know if if it,
I thought they were good updates.
I thought
today.
they were great updates.
I only listened to
Thank you for those
part of them.
updates.
Yeah, thanks for that. Oh, wow, that makes. I'm
feeling good.
That's
now?
awesome. Yeah,
That's nice,
I
right?
got a few comments in the text line, and people are saying, "Wow, like the progress of the YouTube Trev's update." So that means a lot,
Wow.
guys. And so, Will, just hearing that from you, that means a lot. That really
Wow.
does. Thank you, buddy.
You're
That's
welcome.
nice. That's nice.
That's awesome.
I also learned about your Thanksgiving dinner experience, which is kinda tough.
Yeah.
We also learned that Devontae Adams was traded today.
Yeah.
He has been sent, of course, where else? To the New York Jets as the final piece of the Super Bowl puzzle. Fire your coach, trade for Devontae Adams in a matter of a week, still lose a game that was there for the take. And the Bills, I'm not sure the Bills wanted to win that game last night. And the Jets still couldn't get it done.
It felt like the Bills owed people money, and we're hoping, like, they were like,
Guys, come on. Do you not know what we were had to do here? All right, let's get to your text of the day today. Text of the day, of course, for A and W. What's better than one A&W Mama Burger made with perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef patty, top with pickles, slice of onion, ketchup, mustard, teen sauce, served on a toasted sesame seed bun? 2 Mama Burgers made with perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef, topped with pickles, sliced onion, ketchup, mustard, teen sauce, served on a toasted sesame seed bun. Get 2 of them right now for $9.99. It's a great deal.
that sounds good.
And how about this one? There's a little side note here for the upcoming hockey season here. They have a fantastic deal. Mama Burger and fries for only $5 each day the Orange and Blue are playing. That is available in store and on the mobile app. So Mama Burger and fries, $5 on game day.
I told my
Gotta love it.
Told my wife because we had 15 hours of driving, so we needed to talk about everything there was possible to talk about. I told her that Trev had 4 donaires in 1 week.
Yes.
And
What's he say about that?
it bothered her for like a solid 14 of the 15 hours.
That's a concerned mother for
Yeah,
people here at Edmonton
like that
Sports
was.
Talk. Like,
She was like, I don't think I've had 4 donaires in my life. How do you have 4 donaires in a week?
I mean, let's not bring her failures into this. Haven't had 4 donaires in your life? What? Text of the day today is going to go to Colin the Amishman. You got this, Trev? Colin the Amishman. The Oilers are losing and Will Fraser is hosting with Dusty. What is this, 2015 again? Hey-o. Fraser was a big-time Decade of Darkness guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough run.
You know what there was back in the Decade of Darkness? Legitimate points about why the Oilers weren't very good.
It was a mess. Was it not a mess?
Yeah.
They are so lucky they won the McDavid lottery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because they won lotteries.
Yeah.
They had first overall picks, and it didn't help anything.
Yeah. But it's classic where it's like, well, they got to do this. You just need to get lucky.
Yeah.
And like,
Get a generational talent.
90% of this is getting lucky. And so you get a McDavid, and then you also scoop up a Draisaitl a draft before.
Yeah. They're in a good spot. And then Jesse Puljujarvi along the way. Had another assist for the Penguins yesterday. I'm telling you, he could be in their top 6 right now. But whatever. It's gone. It's out the door now. We don't have to worry about that. But oh boy, you mix in Holloway.
You know what?
Puljujarvi.
You're loyal. That's what you are.
I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll die on that hill.
I think you have died on that hill.
I mean, has he had more points than Draisaitl so far this year? Sure. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's sound of the day today. Here's your sound of the day. Give us one. Give us a turn your headlights on here.
If you wouldn't mind, could you please turn your headlights on?
Oh, look at this guy.
Turn your headlights on!
There he is. He's back. All right, what are we watching tonight? We're watching the Oilers and the Flyers tonight. What else are we watching tonight? What do we got for baseball tonight? What's on the baseball skit tonight? The 2 games. Do we get double this tonight, or is it just one?
Are they going to let them
just the
play
one?
again?
Yankees and Guards. Yeah, Yankees and Guardians, Dodgers and Mets from New York tomorrow. So Yankees are minus 167 favorites.
Boo.
Whoopity-doo. All right, that's going to do it for the Nielsen Show with Will Fraser. You're going to see Fraser popping on this show when Eric's on vacation, when I'm gone for CFL. Do you have fun today?
Of course.
Is this better or worse than the old place?
Better.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'd be stunned if you said worse.
We don't have to now go into our program manager's office and have him, by the words that he's saying, prove that he did not listen to the show.
That would happen a lot. That is so true. Just the same points over and over and over again. So much better now. All right. For YouTube, Trev, and Will Fraser, I'm Dustin Nielsen. The Hangout's coming up. If you're watching over on YouTube right now, it's going to be a lot of good Oilers discussion on the Hangout today. So turn on autoplay. It'll take you right on over to the Hangout, which is starting here almost immediately. And if you're listening on TuneIn, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you'll get a little dose of the house band Whale and the Wolf, and then the Hangout will fire up. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11 today. 2 Guys and a Goalie at noon. EST afternoons with Hernan and Gager from 1 to 3. The Smash Hit Reed Wilkins Show from 3 to 6, and the GCL Diesel pregame show tonight at 7 o'clock right here and only here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in today. Take it easy.